flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Yo, what is up? It is Finn's Take with CB83. Hey, coming to you for another banger. You already know what time it is. Hey, I appreciate all y'all coming through, showing some love. Hey, Monday Night Football is going on. The Giants, we're scouting the Giants. We're watching the Seahawks, see what they do. I got some fantasy guys playing. Kenneth Walker and Daniel Jones just got popped for a fumble. So it's not looking good for them boys. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I see y'all. Man, the Miami Dolphins community is bugging right now. Y'all are bugging after the loss. It's like, man, Miami Dolphin fan base, we know how to win. We can win with the best of them. Bro, we know how to take these wins, bro. We can take these. But when it come to these damn losses, boy, when it come to these losses, some of y'all get your panties in a bunch. The negative Nancy start coming out and chirping. The chatty patties, they're everywhere. They want to bring flow back. Mike McDaniel, listen, he's not mean enough. He's not mean enough now. Fangio is a fraud all of a sudden. Offensive line is terrible again. The defensive line is terrible again. They've been terrible. It's just wild to see, man. And that's the crazy thing about this community is just the roller coaster of emotions you go through, just like listening to some of y'all talk and chat in these spaces and on these panels. And the negative platforms just got a lot of energy today. To be completely honest with you, they just got a lot of energy. And people run to the negative when, we lose games, right? And they run to the negative when you win games too, right? Because they want to hear what people are saying. We're just like programmed as human beings to like gravitate towards the negative, I guess. I think I have to put it on that. I don't know what else it could be. But it seems like we as Dolphin fans just gravitate towards being negative and trying to find the worst in everything, right? Or trying to push your narratives, right? And I can understand. I know some people are just upset because their negative narratives didn't pan out like they wanted them to pan out initially, right? So Tua not being good enough, the offensive line not being good enough, Chris Greer not being a good GM. When all those things looked good early on, right? A lot of people were kind of like, like, where are you guys at? The people who were saying that, everything was bad and that, woe is me. The Miami Dolphins suck, right? So, they took a little heat for it. And I think they should. In the first 3 games of the season, we played really well. The offensive line played well. There's not really much to gripe over in the first 3 games. Outside of the defense giving up points in that first matchup and just not looking the best in the second matchup, there's not really much to complain about. The offense was kind of fantastic in all. Not fantastic in the Patriots game, but they were good. Not great, right? But they were solid, right? So they're great in the first game. They're decent in the second game, and then in the third game they go off the charts. We go for 70, right? Um, and then you look at um, the next week, right? We play the big bad Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. We go up there. It's a division game, right? A game I thought we would come out and win handedly, right? Now, I also thought that we would have guys like Connor Williams on the field, right? I thought he would suit up for sure. I thought he was there. I thought there was no doubt in the world he'd miss this game. He doesn't. He doesn't play. It shows, right? Liam Eichenberg at center. We got snaps kind of not everywhere, but just out of place to keep some of the plays from like getting into a rhythm. So um and it showed in the run game too. We just couldn't get anything really going in the run game early on. And it just got to the point where defense couldn't stop them. And we at that point we had to kind of abandon the run, right? Um Now I don't think Mike McDaniel ran the ball enough. But before I get into it, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself, and I'm sorry. I apologize. But man, it's just so much to digest, so much to talk about in terms of the game because there's a lot that happened, and I think a lot that transpired. And it's important for us as Dolphin fans. Hey, keep a level head, be objective. It's okay. We'll be fine, right? Um, but that's gonna happen. We're gonna lose games. Yeah, and honestly, we don't want to lose games, but that's a part of football. And I think it's better when you lose them like this early on, as opposed to losing them, um, later, man. So appreciate everybody coming out, supporting the kid. Shout out to the homie Q who was in here first. He says, now the fake supporters getting off the bandwagon. Boy, y'all jump off quick. Golly, y'all jump off quick. It only took one game. Really, it took y'all about 2 quarters to get off. Golly, boy. I expected them to show their true colors, and they did. They showed their true colors. They jumped off quick. You know, and not even just bandwagoners too. It's just people who want to push this agenda of the team not being as good as we think they are, right? Now, two things could be true. The Dolphins could be a really good football team, and they could still end up losing games, right? I think that's the nature of it. When you look at Kansas City Chiefs, they've always had good runs. They had good runs, right? But within those runs, they always lost games. Like Patrick Mahomes last night didn't play like he typically plays. And I think that's part of being in the NFL. I think every quarterback, every team, every unit in the NFL is going to have games where they just don't play well. Just don't play well. But hey, shout out to the homie Q. The homie Q is in the building. Let's go, man. We got Yes, sir. Hey, I'm gonna catch up in the chat. I really am gonna catch up in the chat. Let's get it. Let's get it. Shout out to the homie Canes. What's good? Salute CB83 and everyone. Salute to the homie Canes, man. Always in the building. Raul Parada in the building. Salute, Fin fans. Hey, let's go, man. Members gang in the bill. Let's get it like rock and roll. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm probably gonna open it up too, man. I'm probably gonna open it up. I want to get some of your thoughts. I know y'all need some therapy. I know you need to get it off your chest. And I'm gonna probably bring some people up. I might open it up for everybody or bring people up one at a time. We'll see how it flows. But we're gonna make it shake, man. Run defense is Charmin soft. And honestly, I think that's my biggest problem with this defense is that it's just they're just soft. To be completely honest with you, they have no real enforcers on the unit, right? David Long Jr. is, I would say, probably the most aggressive and probably one of the biggest hitters on the unit. But this unit is just not very aggressive. Like they aren't big on being aggressive. And when you go against teams that are super physical and that have the ability to dominate you up front and just get after you and really work you, make you work, right? Punch you in the mouth. right? Hit you and say, hey, this is going to be a long day. You got to find a way. And that's what I didn't see our defense do on um, I didn't see our defense do that on Sunday. They just couldn't find a way to like make it happen, right? There's no real enforcer. And I didn't see anybody step up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take control of this thing and we gonna right the ship." I didn't see that on the defense. Offensively in the trenches, I dominated, right? And that's some Sundays, but you got to figure out a way to avoid that the next time around. And it's good lessons to learn. And that's why I don't call these L's. I call these I don't call them losses. I call them lessons, right? It's a lesson learned. So being ready to play. And I think Miami came in with a mindset like, oh, we're gonna go ahead and handle business. But when it really came down to it and the shit really hit the fan, they wasn't ready for that. They wasn't ready, right? And I'm not saying they can't be ready next time, right? I'm not saying they can't be ready next time. I'm just saying them boys weren't ready on Sunday. And I think the fans were, I mean, we were hyped. I was hyped. I know I was ready to go. But I can't go out there and play, right? It's up to them dudes to go out there and play, right? And when I saw Eichenberg walking out there, I was like, oh man, I don't know if he's gonna be able to get it done versus these guys. Because these guys are different and they're a division opponent and they've played us a lot. I mean, we've played them more than anybody in the past, year. We've played them more than anybody. We played them 3 times last year. So they're gonna know us, right? They know us in and out, right? They know the personnel. Um, they played us tough. They smacked us in the mouth, and we saw our own blood for once, right? We saw our own blood this season, and we didn't know what to do. We got hit in the mouth, and we were like, "What's this? Is this blood? I don't know what this is." And that's kind of what happened. And they just couldn't shake back, man. And that's that. I mean, we went toe to toe for the first few drives, right? Toe to toe for the first few drives, and then we get stopped, and then the defense can't get a stop. And you're like, oh man, this thing might get out of hand if you can't score and keep up with these dudes, man. So that's the most disappointing thing about this Fangio defense is they're not doing what I expect them to do. First of all, they're not tough. They're not a tough group of guys. They're not physical. Jerome Baker is not a physical linebacker. And I think that's part of what's going on right now. I think some of the guys that are in the unit just aren't physical. They aren't doing their jobs. They aren't aggressive. So Fangio is just trying to figure out like who can I plug in here and get a guy who can play, right? Like if you're gonna have linebackers, and I've showed you guys countless times on the film, who isn't running to the ball, who isn't sticking his nose in there, who isn't trying to make the plays, bro, you're gonna have a long day. Especially when there's guys basically because NFL teams watch film, right? They watch film and they say, "Oh, this guy is soft as fuck," right? They say this guy is soft as shit. We're gonna run at him all day and we're gonna make him play, right? And when teams get that film on you and they got a 2-game, 3-game sample size and they know you're not really in their plan, they know you just in there dogging it and running after guys and chasing and trying to wrangle guys. Oh, they're gonna go after you at that point. Offensive coordinator like, oh, we circling 55. 55 is where we need to be going. All right. And then they see you, they see these cornerbacks, they see these safeties, they see how you plan. Oh, we gonna test him. That safety, oh, we gonna test him because he thinks shit sweet out there. They gonna get you when that film. Hey, that eye in the sky don't lie. I told y'all about that eye in the sky. That eye in the sky do not lie. And when they put on this film and they see these guys in there dogging it and not getting back in coverages, not making plays, not tackling, oh, they running at you. You cannot hide in the NFL. You cannot hide. Every team has that film on you. Every single team has access to that all 22. And they just watching you and they saying, hey, this the one right here. We got one, coach. We got one. We running at this one right here because he ain't got it in him. He's scared. He on a back pedal all game. He ain't hit a soul. He won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. And when that happen, oh, it's gonna be a long day for you. Just know it's gonna be a long day. They're gonna send everybody and their mama at you. So Dolphins defense right now, soft. One word, soft. Gotta be better. Gotta be better up front. Gotta be more physical. Nobody up there causing havoc. Defensive tackles, where are you? Where are you? Zach Seiler, where are you? Christian Wilkins, Raekwon Davis, where are you? Put them on a milk crate. I just don't. Guys, you got to win these one-on-one battles. You can't beat these guards and these tackles and get it off. You can't get to Josh. It's gonna be a struggle. Gonna be a struggle, man. Young Landon, what's good? I'm keeping it moving. Adam Sadowski in the building. Hey, always late, always fashionably late. You already know what time it is. Hey, big ups to the members gang. Shout out to the homies. Shake Money, Dolphins, Winsy, Dolphin State of Mind, Vincent Winsy, Dolphin State of Mind, and Incognito. Those are the captains of the members squad. Captains of the members gang. William Perry, Chef Jew. Jay, I actually wasn't taking a jump. I was just in here getting the chat right, getting the messages right, making it happen. You already know what time it is, man. Cruz Ruiz, Shake Money, Andravia Shaw, Figueroa G, Big Slick, Adam Sadowski, the Wayne D Experience, S. Harris, Alex Renee Diaz, Hooked Up Joe, Carly Mills, Fins Up Winsy, Young Land, Dolphin State of Mind, Triple S Podcast, Incognito, Newfoundland, Brian Brains, Mansa Chill Q, Mr. Fanatic, Fin Daddy Dougie B, Sky King rounded it out at number 27, man. Who's going to be number 28 in the gang? Jay, what's good? Jay, you said, hey, he said we need therapy after yesterday. Hey, join the member squad, man. Join the members gang. We're going to get you right, man. You won't even need that therapy session. You won't need it, man. Hey, NFL teams take losses, right? That's part of it. That is part of it. But y'all gotta understand, man, it's just the nature of the game. And we'll bounce back as a result of it. That's the beauty of it, right? There's beauty in pain, there's beauty in loss, and it's gonna make our guys better. It's definitely gonna make our guys better. Did Gino get hurt? Damn. Hey, killing my man out there. Hey, number 78. Hey, number 78 is my guy too. I coach number 78, Stone Forsyth at West Orange High School. That's my guy. Shout out to Stone. He's playing tonight. He plays tackle for the Seahawks. Big 78 right there. You see him? Big 78. He's a mountain of a man. Actually, him and my son, his little brother, and my son play football together. They play flag football, stuff like that. But he's a hell of a player. He played at UF, played for the Gators. Roll my dog Gino up. Damn. Shout out to the homie Mansa Chill in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Hooked Up Joe. What's popping with you? Y'all need to relax. Y'all need to relax. Just relax, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Hey, become a member by clicking the link. That's the link right there. If you want to click that, you can become a member. Also, check out Bet USA. That's the newest member of the team. Oh, almost a pick. Almost a pick by Gino. Shout out Bet US. Put $50 in and run the money up. They have casino games. They have sports betting. They got a number of different things. You can kind of bet on everything over there. You can have some fun. If you click the link, use my link. It kind of helps the channel. It supports the channel. I appreciate everybody who's donated so far, and and also who's got on the Bet US promo. I had a couple dudes hit me up and they were like, yo, we love it. It's been a good opportunity. I've been winning some money on there. So appreciate those guys supporting the channel by clicking on the link there. If you're into sports betting or into casino games, blackjack, poker, stuff like that, click on the link, join that. It's a dope little opportunity. If you having a problem with gambling, then don't do it, right? Don't do that. Don't touch that. If you do have a problem with gambling and you need some help, feel free to reach out to me, man. I'll take care of you. Instagram, Twitter, get at me in the DMs. Shout out to the homie Young Landon. Young Landon, what's good? What's your bedtime, Young Landon? You know you got to go to sleep, boy. You got school in the morning. Don't be on here too late. Don't be on here too late. Master Chill says 3-1 is better than 1-3 all day. All day. Young Landon says Panthers are 0-4. Yeah, man. Hey, you need to join the Dolphins, boy. Hey, you need to become a Dolphins fan. Put that Panther stuff away, boy. You embarrassing us. Put that Panther stuff away. You embarrass us. Come join a real squad. We about to beat y'all in a couple of weeks. Milky, hey, shout out to Milky, Lil Sis. Lil Sis holding it down for the Dolphin fans. Lil Sis holding it down. Hey, I'm gonna drop the link. I know I ain't got through this yet, but I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna bring up like one at a time. I'm not bringing everybody up at once. And I just want to get your thoughts on the game. Tell me where you are mentally. I want to know your mental. I want to make sure your mental right. If your mental ain't right, I'm gonna get you right. Trust me. We gonna be all right. Like like Lamar, like Kendrick Lamar say, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right, man. So I dropped the link in the chat. Q says, but also know how to take these L's as well. Yeah, yeah. My man Flam Flams, you mean Stampede? Go Bills. Go Bills. Huh?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Hey, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that Go Bills stuff, man. What's good, man? That's Michael K. Yeah, you already know what time it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, I see you, Fanatic. Fury with Larry K. What's popping with you, man? Fanatic Fury Larry K has a cool channel over there too. Check him out, guys. He does some cool stuff. Shake Money is over there. They got some cool panels. I go over there and chop it up with those guys. They're good people over there. So shout out to the homie Larry K in the building. He said the O-line was bad without starters. That's context. There you go. Add some context to it. Tua was fine. Yeah, Tua took some hits. Hey, good thing. Hey, Tua isn't a bubble boy. We ain't got to worry about him so much. He actually took some hits, got put in that fetal position. He had to go out there and take them. He had to go out there and take them hits, man. The Hey, I see you in there, Nene. He said the Heat can't go one way, and I understand that, Nene. And I dropped the link for you. If you want to get up here and chop it up a little bit, feel free. You know, I ain't gonna jump on you like these other dudes too. It's all love. It's all love. Shout out to the homie Raph in the building. Yo, what's up with Jimmy Butler's hair? Hella funny, black and boots trench coat to follow. Hey, he's a weirdo, bro, and that's the thing, man. I can't rock with these new basketball dudes and these. I don't know. It's something about Miami basketball dudes, man. Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler. Hey, weirdos, bro. I don't know. I can't get down with it. You'll never see me condoning nothing like that. I'm just too much of a manly man to be having my hair permed and piercings. And even if I did have a head full of hair, I still wouldn't keep it like that. Your boy would be, hey, we don't do that. We don't do that. She Jiminy is nothing but comedy. Love him for that's not funny though. That's the thing. They like at some point you gotta cut it off, man. It's gotta be cool. Like it's gotta be cool. It's gotta be cool for the youths too, because people look up to you. You know, you're an idol to some people. You're on the TV all the time. You're gonna be all over social media after you come up with that. Like, come on, we gotta be better as a people. We gotta do what's right. My man Fanatic Fear Larry K says Connor can't snap it. He's a good blocker, naturally a guard. First of all, Connor snaps ain't that bad, to be completely honest with you. He's the best blocker, literally the best blocker on the team, hands down. At the center position, at every position on the offensive line, he's the best blocker, the most athletic, the one who can get out there and make the plays on the middle linebacker guys and keep them controlled at the second level. So when it comes down to it, I mean, you can't replace Connor, and you're probably going to end up paying Connor instead of paying Wilkins because Connor Williams is just much too valuable to this offense. Without Connor Williams on the field, you have lost a little bit. You've lost a lot, right? So let's not let's not underestimate what Connor Williams brings to this offense. And not only does the center not only does the center have to block, he also is calling protections. He's calling he's calling Mike. There's stuff that he's communicating to these guys that's instrumental to our success. Really instrumental. So we can't downplay what Connor Williams is to this offense. We just can't downplay it. We can't downplay it. Hey, I appreciate the homie Fence Up Wincy with the $10 donation, man. Appreciate the content and knowledge. Hey, always, bro. You know how we do it over here, man. It's big time, man. That's all we do is we give you some context, spread some knowledge. We gonna watch that film tomorrow, so be ready for the film breakdown. You already know what time it is. Appreciate the homie Fins Up Wednesday with the donation. Let's go. Yes, sir. Appreciate the homie. I see y'all in here. Shake Money in the building. Let's go Niners in here trolling. Chef Jew in the building. What's good, Chef Jew? S. Harris says sloppy game. Mark K in the building. Oh man, y'all in here now. I'm just catching up. I'm just getting down here. Just getting down here, man. Hey, but I got somebody in the back I wanted to bring on. Again, Fins Up Wednesday. I appreciate the donation. I appreciate the support. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. It helps the channel grow, man. So I appreciate it. Now, let me get to the homie. I'm gonna bring him in. Hey, and I dropped a link. I'm gonna bring people in like one by one, two by two. I might open it all the way up. I'm looking for the Wolfpack. If somebody put out a wolf signal, hey, please put out the Wolfpack signal in the chat. Spam the chat with the Wolfpack emoji, and let's see if we can get the Wolfpack to show up tonight. I know them dudes watching from the sideline. They always watch my stuff and then regurgitate my takes in the spaces and on their little panels and stuff. It's cute, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's how it is sometimes. They just kind of hide in the back on the sideline. Hooked Up Joe, what's good with you? What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. Just watching the chats and everything. Everybody is a little bit freaking out, but we're kind of used to that.
Yeah, man, we are used to it, right? I mean, Miami Dolphin fans are really skittish when it comes to like winning and losing. What's your thoughts on the game, man? Like, let's get some of your thoughts on what happened and what we could do to get better.
Right from the start, soon as Connor was inactive, I had us at 45% winning instead of 55 that I had if he was in. That was it. 55 if he's in, 45 if he's not. I mean, he makes that big of a difference.
Yeah.
Going into the game, especially with Connor out, I was like, if Tua makes it out healthy, I'm good with it.
Out
You know what
healthy.
I mean? I wasn't expecting us to get our ass kicked, but
yeah,
he made it out healthy. He got, like you said, he got hit some
got
times,
some licks,
made
got
it
some
out
licks.
alive. So I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that, to a degree. And we got lots of tape. And you know how our coach likes opportunities to improve, and adversity is opportunity. Let's just get all that adversity in one game,
Yeah.
get enough tape. And we already knew Baker's,
Yeah.
we knew going into the season we didn't have the right roster, and it was going to take some on defense.
Yeah.
And I know fans don't want to hear patient, so I won't be up here talking all positive for too long. But that's my take on it. Is I'm happy Tua made it out okay. We know what we need to fix. My one biggest takeaway is, where the hell is our backup center? How can we go into the year with just like, oh, if our center gets messed up, what are we going to do? I don't know. That's
It
just,
does.
man, that seems like, I mean, when you got 5 running backs and like no backup center,
Yeah,
something we need to be looking at that trade deadline.
And that's a good point. And I think if anything, I'd be worried, not even worried about. I mean, I thought this offensive line would be fine as long as we stay healthy, right? That was my take. As long as these guys could stay healthy, for the most part, they'll be fine. Now, when you start going to backups at positions like center, and you got to put a guy like Liam Eichenberg, who typically hasn't been, first of all, he hasn't been a great blocker at the guard position. Now you're asking him to snap and block. So it's like, so you're gonna ask him to do two things instead of just doing the one thing that he could barely do before. So that bothers me, especially at the center position where you need a guy who's going to be locked in. You need a guy who's going to be able to call out the formations, call the mic, identify the coverages, identify the protections. Like, are we sliding right? Are we sliding left? Are we manning it up? So that's part of it that bothers me, is that, you know, we got to find a way when guys go down to still be like decent. Like, we can't just fall off a cliff, right? Like,
Right. You got to
that's,
have at least a backup, not no
yeah.
backup, because he's not a backup.
Yeah, and I'm cool with him being a swing guard backup. I'm cool with that, but I'm not cool with him being our center backup, especially when you have Connor on a year where he's trying to get paid. He could use that as leverage and just sit out games and say, "Oh man, y'all suck anyways at center when I'm not in there. So you better go ahead and pay me." And he could be doing this behind the scenes, bro. Just pay me and I'll be there for you regularly. But I'm not gonna play hurt. I'm not gonna play injured. And Connor Williams is probably hurting right now. I mean, that's a part of the game. I think he's probably hurting right now. But I think guys who are paid well and who are happy with their position find a way to play through hurt, right? Now, nobody's playing through injuries. Nobody's playing through injuries. But I think Connor Williams is hurting right now, and he's like, yo, I'm not playing through hurt because I'm not getting paid like that. So I think that's kind of what you're dealing with right now. And it sucks, being in that situation. But I'm much more comfortable paying Connor Williams and guys like Robert Hunt than I am paying guys like Christian Wilkins $25-30 million a year at this point. And that's just where I'm at. Because
Hey, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get out of the studio so somebody else can come up. Thanks for bringing me up, man.
For sure, man. For sure. I appreciate you coming through, Hooked Up Joe. It's always there, bro. All right, man. Next up we got Milky. Milky, what's good? What's good with you?
Tough loss. Yesterday. CB.
Tough loss. Tough loss, Milky. I know your brother was giving you a hard time yesterday.
No, he lost too.
Oh yeah. I guess he ain't got much to say, right? They're 0-4, so he probably ain't got much to say. I see the Wolfpack. Hey, I see the Wolfpack in the building, man. Shout out to the Wolfpack coming through, man. Shake Money, Ian Dolphin fan, Mr. Polk. Hey, if y'all want to click that link, if you feeling froggy, go ahead and jump. So, but Milky, what's your thoughts on yesterday's game, man? I mean, I know it's a tough loss. Are you panicking, or what's your thought process on it?
Not really panicking. I mean, we're 3-1 or 4-1?
3-1. We 3-1.
Okay. We got some good. We got some good stuff going on. I mean,
yeah.
I think yesterday was a defense.
So you think yesterday was a defense?
The secondary, a lot of too many touchdowns, I think.
Yeah, too many touchdowns. That's something I didn't like. I thought Fangio was the type of defensive coordinator to take guys away, and I think Diggs just got off on us, Milky. I mean, he did. He had 3 touchdowns. Like, how do you let a guy like Diggs, who is the best guy on their football team, come in and make those plays?
Like, the offense is going to do their part. If the defense can't adjust, and how are they supposed to do their part?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. It really is.
How many points we scored? Like 20-something?
We scored 20. We scored 20 because we went for it on a 2-point conversion and didn't get it. But
tied 14-14 at half.
Was it? No, it wasn't 14-14 at half. I think it was 21-14 at the half, and then we got the ball back, had an opportunity to go down and tie it. Defense could have got a stop, and then we could have came back and went up, but that did not happen coming out of the second half. It just didn't happen.
TD was not happy.
Oh yeah. TD is emotional. He gets upset when Dolphins aren't playing well, and I understand it. I think, everybody has a right to be upset, but I think, I think it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Do you want
and
to take to the live table Wednesday?
yeah, I watched the round table. I watched it all the time. I didn't catch. I caught part of it tonight. I caught Master at Works kind of going off and just being realistic about his team.
That's because they beat the Jets last week. Last week, and then they lost to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but hey, so you're right. It was 31-14. I'm mixing stuff up. It's 31. It was 31-14 at the half. So yeah, we did. They put up 30 points in the first half on us, which is ugly. Very ugly.
But division-wise, I ain't really worried about the Dolphins. I mean, if they get a wild card, we should make the playoffs. I mean, get Super Bowl, we get the Super Bowl. But still, the Jets I ain't really worried about. I mean, the way they played against the Chiefs, they almost beat the Chiefs, but
yeah, we ain't worried about them, Milky. Hey, that's a dub. We ain't worried about the Jets. We ain't worried about the Patriots.
The Patriots I'm worried about. The Bills, no, but the Patriots, yeah, because Bill Belichick's going to cheat somehow.
Oh no, they got to come back to the crib. They're coming back to the crib, and when they come back to the crib, it's a dub. It's a dub.
Oh yeah,
we smacking them. I got a question from the man Lewis. He said that Vic Fangio scheme, CB 31-14, was that Boyer out there? Man, I think man, and that's a good question.
I don't think that was Boyer. I think it was Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard was, man. I think all of them boys was giving it up for real. I just think that
Xavier Howard had a pick against New England, but he could have had a one against Buffalo.
That's what we needed. We needed one against Buffalo. But Milky, hey, I appreciate you coming up, man. I'm gonna let you get out of here. It's always fun talking to you and your brother in the chat. Y'all got to get them grades though. Make sure you getting them grades. What's your GPA right now? It better be a 4.0 because you ain't got your first report card yet.
5.0. 5.0.
That's what I'm. Hey, where y'all at?
My brother's at 3.0.
He's at 3.0?
I have to help him a lot, but he's doing good. I mean, he's 15. I'm 27, actually.
You're 27?
Yes. I'm not in school.
Damn, so you said what? You're 27?
Yeah, I'm not in school, yeah.
Oh, okay. You're not in school, so you help your brother. Okay.
My brother's at school, yeah.
I got you. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you coming through. It's always love.
Oh yeah, I mean I watch TD and everything, so everything's good with him, and
that's good. I'm glad you watch everybody in the community. Be sure to check out check out Rabbit Dolphin Fan. He's a really cool guy to follow as well. I don't know if he has a channel or not. He's usually on the TFTG side of things, but be sure to check him out. He has a lot of funny takes that are really comedy. So feel free to follow him too. His name is Louis Amador. They call him the Rabby Dolphin Fan. So be sure to check him out too. All right.
The Broncos beat the Bears last week.
Yeah, I saw that. They came back.
Yeah, I want them to beat the Jets for sure. I think they're gonna beat the Jets with Sunday coming up.
Yeah, I think so too, man. The Jets ain't good. Zach Wilson, man. The boys trash. We ain't worried about them. Milky, that's an easy dub. That's an easy dub. Hey, I appreciate you coming through, Milky. You have a good one. Hey, get little bro right. Make sure he in them books, man. He be trying to jump on the chats when he's supposed to be in class, man. So watch him closely, all right?
Hey, he only gets he goes to school Monday through Thursday, and he gets off at 2:00 he goes to school 8:00, 8:30 to 2:00. So he's good.
All right, get him right. Appreciate you coming through, Milky.
All right,
later. Hey man, shout out to the homie Milky. That's my girl. She be coming through and showing love, man. She be coming through and showing love. I'm out here talking to the kids, man. Hey, CB83 love the kids, man. Love the kids, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me drop this link again, man. I know I got some people who want to get in here, man. I got the homie just popped in the back. Let's go, man. Let's go. Hey, my guy. What's good, Q Money? What's up with you, my boy?
What's good?
Hey,
up,
Q,
everybody in
please
chat?
don't tell me. Please don't tell me you panicking like the rest of the negative Nancy's and the
No,
chatty
no,
patties.
no. I'm straight. I mean, it
Are you?
sucks.
True. Are
Uh,
you really straight, bro? Please.
uh,
Hey,
uh,
if you're not straight, let me know, bro. You can let me know. You can be honest with your boy.
listen, 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 listen. I'm straight, bro. I'm straight. It
That's
sucks. It
what's up.
sucks, you know,
Yeah.
because I've been talking a whole lot of shit. You know that. I've been talking a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, bro.
And
It's okay to talk your shit, bro. Hey,
yeah.
look, you a
Listen,
fan,
listen.
Q.
I can take these W's as well as I can take these L's. So today it's an L, bro.
Exactly.
I'm taking it, bro.
Hey, we take the L's. Hey, it's a lesson. It's a lesson learned. We gonna be
Yeah.
Gucci.
I mean,
We
Crow
gonna be
right now. You
good,
know what I mean?
bro. And people like, yo, it's like we can't even fan the way we want to. We can't even enjoy liking our team, bro. They want us to be mad all the time, bro. I can't be mad when my team playing ball, man. What I got
Listen,
to be mad at?
I expected this game to come. I didn't expect it to come this early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I expect the teams to figure it out by
Mhm.
around week 8, week 9, and I didn't expect it to come this early. I for sure didn't expect the Bills to figure things out and to minimize the explosiveness and to expose the defense and everything like that. But it's cool.
Man,
It's a loss. It's a loss.
it is a loss, man. It is a loss,
And,
but
but it's also like it with the struggle, it's a prerequisite for growth. So after this
it
loss,
is.
it's
It
only up.
is. It's only
Yeah,
up, and that's what we gotta appreciate about
yeah.
taking these
Hey, it's
L's
three
early
and
in the
one, baby.
season,
It's 3-1.
bro. And
It's not the end of the world, bro.
I much rather take this L now than take it later in the season where we need it. Like,
Yeah.
take it now, take it on the chin. Hey, you got popped, you saw your own blood, you got smacked. Now figure it out, right? Figure it out, see what you got to do. Now, we got guys like Alex Renee Diaz coming out the blue. He in the members gang coming out the blue. He says, let's talk about how Boyer is better with less. He was better with less talent. Q, you think that's true?
No,
I mean, that's
no.
a very gangster take right there. When you say Boyer was better than Fangio with less talent, I mean, you're looking at a sample size of 4 games, right? Boyer
Right,
was
right.
here. Boyer was here
How
for
many years
3
with the same
years.
squad? With the same squad?
He was here for 3 years with the same squad, and then his final
Yeah,
year of being here, he was named the defensive coordinator. So I
yeah.
think that's a very, very bad take. And I say it's a bad take because he had 3 years with those guys. And he wasn't the one calling the plays in the first couple of years. I mean, maybe he was, but I think he still had a lot of time to figure it out. Boyer had
I'm not gonna
Boyer had 7 straight losses, Q, on his
listen.
watch.
I'm not gonna to all the people that's overreacting. I'm not gonna say don't overreact. Right? Feel how
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
feel.
Right. I
But
can't, bro.
I'm telling you, it's an overreaction. You can overreact,
Yeah.
but I'm letting you know it's an overreaction.
And
Right?
I think Q, I think you make a very valid point, and I'm glad you said it like that. I'm not telling people how to react either. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm telling people how to react, but hey, react how you want to act. I just know, like you said, hey, you're tripping. Like you
Yeah,
tripping.
you are. Yeah, you trip.
Like you tripping. You need to calm down a little
This is
bit.
the fourth game for Fangio, bro. Who
Yeah.
expected Fangio to come out the gate with a fucking straight up dog of defense, right?
Bro, I
Everything
mean,
they got everything down pat.
hey, Q, they thought the dude was gonna come out the gate swinging. They thought he was gonna come out
Who thought
swinging,
that, bro? You
bro, and
really don't
it's
know ball if you thought that, bro. Really, I'm
bro.
not insulting your intelligence. I'm just telling you like it is, bro.
Q, they thought he was gonna come out swinging, and it's hard to come out swinging when you got guys on the field like Jerome Baker,
Exactly.
bro. It's just
Especially last
hard,
season with McDaniel and the offense.
bro. It's tough, man. It really is
Give
tough.
him a couple of weeks, bro. And I'll tell you this, right? The
I say
next
you
go around,
give him the week 8. Give him the week 8 to figure it out. If he ain't got it figured out by week 8, and they're not
right,
like a formidable defense where they're like climbing into the middle of the pack, then we can start having the conversation. right? We can start having a conversation about maybe Fangio isn't putting guys in position. And I think what's bothering me about the position or that he's putting guys in is he's just not. I feel like his game plans are not on point. Like this game plan he had going into this game of not traveling, not making X travel with Diggs, right? I can understand that. X is not a traveler, right? But putting Cater Kohu on him the whole game and not making an adjustment. Like at some point, at some point, you gotta put Cam Smith out there and see if he can play, bro.
Which makes me question,
bro. He's a second round draft pick, right?
Which makes me question, like if you don't have your best safety, your best corner out there, which is X, aside from Ramsey who's injured, but X, if he's not out there shadowing Diggs, which and I'm just speculating, right? Which makes me question: do you not trust X? Do you trust Cater more?
I think he does trust Cater more, and I think he praises Cater. He gives Cater a lot of love, right? But Cater he only has 1 year under his belt, right? And he has some good plays underneath his belt. He's got some good plays. He's got a great ability to step up in the run game and make plays in the run game too. But
no, he out there looking like that dude that the Miami sent to New England. What's his name?
No, you're talking about Noah. No,
he out there looking like Noah. He not even looking back for the ball, bro. Like, but
and honestly, Q, and to be completely honest with you, bro, anybody you put on Diggs 1-on-1 is gonna get sliced and diced, bro. Like
you need to double it, bro.
And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and that's my problem with the Fangio game plan. Is like, bro, anybody you put on him 1-on-1 is getting their ass beat. I don't care who
you always got to have that over top safety.
He too good. He too good, bro. And like I think we really underestimate a guy like Diggs. Diggs is a top 5 receiver in the league, like hands down, bro. He is. Like we could say we don't like him all we want to, but the cat can play. And for you not to put Javon Holland on his side, cheat Javon Holland to him, or make sure you got a guy over there over the top of him every play or spying him on every play, bro. We should have been at man-to-man underneath, safety over the top. If Diggs went to the restroom, the Cater Kohu should have followed his ass to the restroom, bro. It really is that type of game. Like if Diggs go to the restroom, oh, Cater gotta go too. Like, I mean, bro, we need to have a guy on him at all times, and we need to have safety help over the top. He is he's a dog.
I believe Cater's still a dog. He's just young, bro.
He's young.
And as much as people want to blame one person like Fangio, or want to blame Cater, or want to blame Tua or Eichenberg, bro, the blame is the share it goes around, bro. Everybody has equal share of that blame, bro.
I think everybody got to get a piece of that pie, because every phase played poorly, offense, defense.
Yeah,
every phase played poorly. Every phase didn't execute, and when we watch the film tomorrow, we'll see that. But
self-inflicting wounds with penalties and shit, bro.
Ton of penalties. I thought it was some questionable calls too, Q. I thought it was some questionable calls.
Yeah,
but that it just bothers me. What bothers me the most about the game is that you weren't prepared to take Diggs away. Because literally, if you take him away, try to take him out of the game, Josh Allen struggles. He's always going to struggle, and there's going to be Diggs is going to go to crying. Diggs is going to go to crying, and then they're going to be mad at each other. Josh Allen's going to be in his head, and then they're not going to be able to play.
And we all know that if there's one person that Josh Allen he's looking for, it's Diggs. Even if Diggs is triple covered, he's going to try to fit that ball in there.
He's going to force it. He's got to force it. He's got to force it. But I appreciate you coming up, Q, bro. It's always good to have you, bro.
Appreciate the dropping the stream, bro.
Hey,
like I said, man, therapy for the Dolphins. I'm not even a fucking Dolphin fan, bro, and I got fucking frustration, bro. I need fucking therapy, bro.
bro. Good to see
I
you, bro.
appreciate you.
Hey, love, bro. Love, Oos. Hey, shout out to the homie Q for coming through. Yes, sir. We got the homie in the back. Nay in the building. They out,
Hey,
Nay. They
mine's is
out.
gonna be very quick because I'm trying to get this
Come on.
11:59 Blackboard deadline. Most
Hey, we ain't
scholars,
worried about that school stuff. We got Dolphins talk. Let's go. Let's get it.
it's balanced. So I just wanted to render the question to you because I'm hearing things and I want clarity. I don't want
Okay,
debating,
let's
but
do it.
clarity.
I like clarity. We're gonna give you clarity.
So
Let's
what
do it.
is the difference between observing what we saw yesterday and going over the top in frantic panic mode as you're describing? I'm trying to understand what's the balance and dialogue
There's
and
balance.
interpretation.
Yeah. There is balance, and I think when we're looking at and this is a really good question, and you have to put it in perspective. You said what's over the top. I think over the top is reaching for agendas, right? I think what's in front of us is the game we played yesterday, right? Um, and that's the game we played, and I think every narrative should be based on that football game. Like let's evaluate that football game, see what we did well, what we did poorly. Let's evaluate it, let's analyze it, and then let's figure out how we could get better, and then let's move on to the next one. Now, bringing up stuff like uh, Brian Flores had a better defense, or Boyer had a better defense in the 3 years that he was here, or saying things like Mike McDaniel is too soft on his players on a 1 game sample size, I think is blasphemy. And that's what bothers me about that. I can understand you saying it after you see 3 to 4 games of a consistent pattern during the season, because every NFL season is different from year to year, right? So if you say, "Hey, these agendas are coming up after 1 game," I think that's a little bit of nonsense, and I think that's what is over the top to me. To be completely honest with you and be transparent, I think that's over the top. I think if you say, "Hey," if you want to question Fangio in regards to the scheme, and you want to question him in regards to personnel, like Cam Smith not playing, Jerome Baker playing, stuff like that, cool. Like you have no problem. I have no problem with you doing that. If you want to question backup quarterback play of backup center play from Liam Eichenberg and him being a starter, yeah, you can question that. You can say, "Hey, Chris Greer, you didn't fix the center position. You didn't get us a formidable backup." I think that's reasonable, right? I think when you got to look at the game and you got to evaluate the game. I think bringing in narratives from years ago, I think that's just it's too much. I think it's too much, man.
Okay, I hear your perspective. The only thing I would ask to say
Yeah.
is that were we having these same restrictions on the evaluation doing wins? Because there was some wild takes out there. There was people that were saying we were going to the Super Bowl. There was people that were saying that there was no problems with the outside line, and the people that were complaining in the past where you're at. Because see, to me, everything is cause and effect. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of what's happening with people responding and
Good.
formulating these questions about, okay, are we going to talk about the offensive line? Are we going to talk about Mike McDaniel's comments on the record stating that he didn't make any adjustments at all? Or are we going to overlook these things? Or, like I heard someone said, and it baffled me, well, let's wait 6 more games until we can come with an assessment. Now, I will render this point. I'll
An
let you.
assessment for what though? Like, give me
Just
some
in
context on
general,
that.
the contents was from what I heard because I was listening. This individual says it is unfair to judge this team, Mike McDaniel, the defense. We need 6 more games of data to come up with an actual, I guess, hypothesis on where we are as an organization. And that's the kind of stuff for me. I have to start digging into my 40 years of being a fan since birth. When you have not won a Super Bowl in 50 years, when you haven't won a playoff game in 21 years and counting, I think it's
Yeah.
not, I don't think it's far fetched. I don't think it's being extra. I don't think it's being Because we can only believe what we have seen on a consistent basis, if that makes sense. It's not knocking that we haven't made progress, because you've heard me on Spaces. I've been on the record saying, even yesterday, I said, you know what, Tua is actually falling better. I saw differences on how he was landing. I saw differences on how he was getting the ball out. I can
Mhm.
acknowledge that. But I
Yeah,
also think, as a fan, because remember, we're all fans. Nobody is a part of the organization here unless I'm missing something.
you're right.
Every fan has a right to see the game the way they saw it, especially when you're a fan and you've been a fan for a lot of years and you've seen this Miami Dolphin team win a whole bunch of games early in the season, and then we
Yeah,
get to a point where we get physical. And I'll land here because I know you want to rebut. To me, my problem with the game yesterday was the lack of physicality and the lack of leadership. And that's everybody. That's the coaches, that's the players. It looked like they did not care that they were getting embarrassed, to me, on national TV. That I didn't see anyone, like, for how we were winning and people were celebrating and hugging each other on the sidelines.
yeah.
Well, where was the other side of that energy if, here we go, if we're a Super Bowl contender? And I land my plane there. Thank you.
And that's a really good point, Nene. And I can rock with you. I'm gonna let you fan the way you want to fan. I don't get into the I'm not gonna say I don't into the negativity of it, but I understand where you're coming from in regards to, hey, there's a lot of stuff that, prior to these games, people were calling out, right? They were calling out the offensive line. They were calling out Chris Greer not bringing in the right personnel, calling out Mike McDaniels being too soft on players. I understand that, but when you're looking at the first, and Raster said it, like he breaks the season up into quarters, and that's typically how I am too. Like if we're looking at the first 4 games of the season, we had 3 games where we went through adversity, we won multiple different ways, and now you have a game where, hey, you just go out there and get beat. Like physically, you get beat up front. Your guys can't find a way to will themselves to a win. You can't figure it out, right? And I think in games, like in the sport of football, that happens at times. I think even some of the best football teams to ever have seasons in the NFL have had games where they get beat, right? So I think it's a fair assessment to be like, yo, there's still room for concern. There's still ton of opportunity for this team to get better. And that's why I tend to watch the film, because even when you look at the 70-point routing that we put on last week, there were still a lot of opportunities for guys to make better plays and to execute better, right? I think that's part of it. But I'm not going to get into the narratives of, oh, we're a bad football team, or not even necessarily we're a bad football team. We have bad units, or, we're sometimes you get out physical. Sometimes you get punched in the mouth and you can't get up from it. I think that happens. And Nene, I'm sure you've watched a lot of football. I think you
Sure,
know that. Yeah. I think
sure.
and I think that's what you saw yesterday. You just saw a team go out there, get punched in the mouth. They really had no answer for what Buffalo was doing. And Buffalo clearly wanted to win more than the Dolphins wanted to win, right? They're
And
playing
sir,
they're playing at home. They got more to lose for sure,
and here's
right?
the other thing, sir. I will say
Mhm.
this, and then I'm sure you got other people that want to speak. I don't want to monopolize the time, but
I got
here's
no,
the
you good.
other thing that gives me pause and cause to our
Yeah.
mindset. This is the second time we played this team when we're wearing these shirts with sayings and emojis. You
Yeah.
open yourself, like someone warned me before. When you
It's
open
yeah.
yourself for an attack, you better be prepared to fight. So when Josh Allen did that celebration, when he did the emoji, because
Yeah.
the narrative, from what I understand, because remember, the fans get narratives because of what we see being narrated. I'll say that again for the people in the back. The fans get narrative because when you have not Brian Flores, Lord have mercy, when you have Chris Greer saying
Mhm.
that you are more concerned about the offensive line than I am, and we all see, CB, let's be honest, we
Yeah.
all see the health of Armstead is by a thin line if he's healthy or not. And I was told, and this is the only reason why I was going in the way, that
Mhm.
this year was different. That Mike McDaniel has figured out a way that even if Armstead is down, he can scheme his way to a successful protection for Tua and effective for the offense. And what I saw yesterday from Mike McDaniel, this is the only thing I'm going off of my narrative, is what I saw is when you go in front of that podium and you say part one, I was unprepared, and part two, I did nothing to fix it. I have a problem with that when y'all wearing these shirts. I wish it was cold to stop all of that. Stop all of that foolishness.
Well,
Go out there and play to win. And I know for a fact, I will say this. I'm not saying we're gonna win every game. And to the point of the somebody said it great. It was one game, we got punched in the mouth. Hopefully we
that
learn
was
from
me.
that.
Yeah, that
That,
was
that
me.
I'm with that. I
All right.
want us to learn from it. But when you see in the same, someone told me something. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. It's
Yeah.
not my job to always put on my Miami Dolphin blinders and saying, okay, this year is going to be the year of change. Now, I hope the Carolina game and so forth, but my next game will be when we are facing the Eagles and some of the harder competition. I need them to get over that huddle if our goal is Super Bowl. Thank you for having me, sir.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Nene. I appreciate you coming on. And I think you made some really valid points, man. You welcome here anytime. You much better than the Wolfpack that I'm used to. Them dudes usually don't have nothing to say. They just be running off at the mouth and really have no substance. So I appreciate you coming through. Hey, shout out to the homie Nene for coming through. I want to bring in the homie Monty, but I also want to address what she just said. And let me bring up Monty real quick. Monty, what's good with you, bro?
Yo, yo, yo,
How
yo, yo.
Hey, I know you coming with the heat, but I real quick, I wanted to just kind of touch base on what Nene said, and like I can understand her frustration with guys wearing shirts, just doing a bit much, right? But the same way I'm not telling fans how to fan, I'm not gonna get in here and tell my coaches how to coach or how to set culture in the locker room and stuff like that. I mean, if we trust McDaniel, we need to take the good with the bad. And I think that's just the nature of being a fan, right? He's done some good things for the offense. This team has played well, while he's been at the helm for the most part. So, I mean, we really can't, put it on him. And we can't, I'm not saying put it on him, but we can't tell him how to coach. Like, of course, we want him to make adjustments. He may get arrogant at times. He may do stuff that's a little bit annoying to us as fans, talking about he doesn't make adjustments or he felt comfortable with the O line and the O line doesn't have Connor Williams and they don't play well. But I mean, I think when they said, hey, this offensive line is good enough, they're talking about, hey, these starters are good enough. And if we got a guy like Connor Williams out, it's going to be a struggle. I mean, I think that's the nature of it. And I don't think they expected Connor Williams to be out. But Connor Williams could be playing this game. Like, bro, if you don't pay me, like, I'm just not going to play hurt. So that could be the case. But Mountie, I land my plane like Miss Nene. What's going on with you, man? How you feeling? What you up to,
Hey,
bro? What's your thought?
I'm disappointed because of one because of the loss. But see, it's not. We're gonna lose some games, and I get it. And if anybody thought that we were gonna go through this season undefeated, you're crazy. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
how you lose.
Mm-hmm.
See, we it seemed like we didn't make the necessary adjustments. One, here we go again with the old Mike McDaniel. Dude, we got Devin Asian.
What's the old Mike McDaniel? Give it
Well,
to me.
okay. Well, we clearly see that we can run the ball on them damn near at will, but we don't run it. We got a running back that's averaging 12.7 yards a carry.
Yeah,
The guy's got
yeah.
got 100 yards, 2 touchdowns on 8 carries. Dude, what are we doing? They're when
But
the first half
but
we
Mountie,
were
I
doing
think
okay.
and I just want to stop you there real quick, right? And I think people are really fascinated with A Chain and what he's doing, and I understand that. He's running well for us, right? Um, you also have Mostert, who Mostert coming into the game was the guy, right? He was the starter, right? So you have Mostert coming into the game. He's the starter. He's getting most of the reps. He's getting most of the carries initially, and then he starts fumbling the ball, right? So he fumbles the ball once, he doesn't lose it. Fumbles the balls the next time, and he loses it. So it's like when you're down. So you got Mostert. You're down to you're now down to A-Chain, and A-Chain's not the type of guy yet. I don't think Mike McDaniel feels comfortable with him yet. Just lining him up in the backfield and just running him right, left, all over the field. I don't think he's comfortable with him doing that yet. I think he's scheming up runs for him, whether it's jet sweeps, whether it's tosses, stuff like that. Getting him comfortable with the NFL. He had 8 carries on Sunday, right? I think he's a really good running back. He's shown me a lot, but he's also not the type of guy that you can put 20 carries on a game yet, right? And if
that's mere speculation. You're assuming that,
and we don't know that, but we haven't seen it though.
But you got to remember, CB, Mike McDaniel he's never had a bell cow running back,
and it's right, and it's always
by committee. But we have to run the football regardless of who's running it.
But we
have to run the football.
I get what you're saying, Mounty, but you can't run the football when your guys are fumbling the ball. When your guy is fumbling the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So let's put that in perspective.
When your guy is fumbling the ball, it's not going to be as easy to run the football when you're putting the ball on the ground. At some point, you're going to say, fuck it, I'm not running it no more. I'm putting the ball into his hands, and we're going to figure it out, right? Especially when you got a guy like A-Chain, and you want to ramp him up. You don't want to just throw him into the fire and just really give him 20 carries. You want to like slowly ramp him up. The rookies have a long season. They can hit that wall later in the season, and he could struggle. So I think there's more to it there than that. And that's my thing about this running back room, right? I feel like if a guy like Mostert goes to fumbling, or a guy like A-Chain has a bad game, or doesn't do well, then you're only down to a couple guys who could possibly help you. And I don't think those guys are guys that are difference makers in the backfield, right? Now I can understand people saying, "Oh, we got enough," but honestly, if the Colts come calling about Jonathan Taylor, I'm entertaining this shit. I have to. I'm sorry. I have to entertain it. Like, if we're really trying to make a run at a Super Bowl, right? If we're really talking, oh, we're going to get it this year, you got to entertain it. And I'm not.
So what is the point? Okay. Having said all that,
that's a lot. I know.
Now, the glaring standout for me, which is a huge disappointment, and if I have to use a metaphor, I would like our offensive line was like that little kid on the playground, and the bully showed up.
Yeah,
and he got punched in the mouth, and we didn't swing back.
We
didn't swing back.
Ran home.
We got offensive linemen that have no grit. How does 4 guys get in the backfield on 4, 5, and 6?
When it rains, it pours. When it comes to that offensive line play, that trench play, when dudes start setting the tone on you and they just start teeing off on you, and they know they got the advantage, they know they got 4 or 5 guys who are just better than the other unit, and it's going to be a long day unless you figure out a way to scheme something up to get the ball out quick to where the guy isn't getting touched. And
I mean, you got Liam Eichenberg's getting blown up
on skates.
Like, bro. Dude, man, come on, bro. Can he play anywhere on the line?
Nah, he can't play center. He could fill in at guard.
No, he can't. He gets blown up,
bro. He gets
CB. There you go. CB atoning for people. There you go.
But look, he gets blown up everywhere. I'm not saying he's gonna get ran over slowly, right? And that's just part of it. Some of these dudes are not starters in the NFL. Liam Eichenberg clearly ain't a starter, bro. He's not starting caliber player. Right?
No, he needs to be on the practice squad.
He does, and we need to go find another guy who could play backup center. Because in the event that Connor Williams really is hurt or he really does want to sit down for a little while, we're gonna struggle, and that's something we got to figure out. But I digress on that. You got anything else before I get somebody else in here,
Nah,
bro?
man. Hey, look, man. On to the Giants. This should be a
Let's
makeup
go,
win.
man.
We need to be 2-0 going into Philly.
Let's get it, man. We need to be 2-0, and that's what I see in our futures. 2-0 on the next two, and then we go play Philly and we go get a dub on Sunday night, man. That's what I'm expecting. Hey, appreciate you coming through, bro.
Fact.
Later. Shout out to the homie Monty for coming through. The homie Alex Renee Diaz was next. Alex, what's popping with you? What's going on, bro? I know you. Hey, I know you hot. I heard the take. You want Boyer back. I heard it. That's what you want. You really want Boyer back.
Listen, here's the thing. I said this from the beginning that I don't think Boyd should have been the scapegoat, and should not have been fired. All right, but if it was all for it,
y'all gotta. Hey, y'all. Hey, that defense. Hey, come on, Alex.
But CB,
tell
the
me
thing.
why. No, Alex, I'm not letting you get off that easy. Why do you think Fangio? I mean, why do you think Boyer would not be fired for a guy like Fangio who is coming in?
Well, if a guy like Fangio's unsure, you have to fire Boyer. I get that.
So what we talking about?
But here's the thing where I'm going to sit here and say this: you were top 5 against the run last year. Okay, top 5
we were solid against the run. I think
top 5 against the run. But
yeah, okay.
We were 27th against the pass, but we all
terrible.
We were 27th against the pass, but we all sat here and said, "Oh, the secondary's banged up, this and that." Now we're getting everybody back, right? We got everybody
Alex,
back out.
when you look at the secondary, this was the same secondary we had last year, bro.
It's Xavier Howard Howard, but Xavier Howard was not healthy.
Hey, Alex, this is the same secondary. The secondary that played on Sunday is the same exact secondary we had last year.
But then why did Boyd do better with less?
No Cam Smith, no Jalen Ramsey, none of the new guys, no Eli Apple, no Deshaun Elliott. 4 guys who were brought in new to your team who did not play on Sunday. So it really was the same 27, 26 ranked secondary. Like, are we serious? Like, I mean, let's be real.
I still think Boyes did better with less talent around him than what Fangio had. Because you're not going to sit here and sell me.
But it's a 4-game sample size. You're looking at a 4-game sample size versus a guy who had been with the organization for 3 years, Alex. So I think that's a little unfair for you to say.
But are you telling me that Jerome Baker, even though he's gotten worse since being in the scheme than what he was from last year?
I think Jerome Baker's a guy who needs to be blitzing in order to be effective. And
Boyer used him for that.
And Boyer used him for that. And this scheme, Vic doesn't want to blitz him all the time. He doesn't want to have to send him every time for him to be effective. So it's kind of like, hey, this guy isn't good enough to play regular linebacker for me. I'm not sending a bunch of blitzes. That's just not what I do. I blitz when I need to. I don't blitz because I have to. So he's kind of sending a message to Jerome Baker. It's like, you either find a way to play in this system or you just won't play. And that's why I think he got yanked on Sunday, because he's just not finding a way to play, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of, and we could probably go back and forth with a bunch of different stuff, but I just think you got to give Fangio some time. You got to give him at least half the season to figure this thing out. If we get to week 8 and we're just still playing poorly and we can't figure out the secondary and Cam Smith still isn't on the field and we're still looking like a mess, then it's a problem. I can agree with you in regards to that. I can agree with you in regards to that.
Because the thing is that I don't know what in his right mind will make him want to play Cater Cole, even though I like Cater. I love Cater. Why in the hell is he shadowing Diggs the entire freaking game?
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough on anybody. And we honestly don't. Y'all didn't give Noah that same. Y'all didn't give Noah that same grace when he got his ass burned up by Diggs.
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah,
I
y'all
did.
didn't give Noah that same grace. Y'all wanted to get Noah up out of here, but when Cater get burned up, y'all have sympathy for the guy. It's like, come on, man, y'all, and I blame Fangio for that. There's no reason that dude should be on the field by himself with covering Cater. If you're gonna put some safety help over the top, put some real safety help. Don't put Brandon Jones over there. Brandon Jones was out there whiffing, diving at Latavius Murray's feet, can't make a tackle, can't wrap up Diggs on the sideline. You and Cater. It's like, bro, come on, man. It's just,
I want to know
bad.
why Elijah Campbell didn't even start.
Yeah,
did not start over.
And I'm
Brandon
worried
Jones.
about the safety position. Now that Deshaun Elliott's hurt, I'm worried about the safety position. Brandon Jones isn't ready yet. You can tell he isn't ready.
Yeah,
He doesn't
I
look
agree.
comfortable
And
in
I'm
it.
a huge Brandon Jones fan. I've been a fan of him since we drafted him in the 5th round. And
Yeah.
I've been on the Brandon Jones hype train for a long time.
He's just
I still
not
think the kid is going to be
he's
good.
just not a good cover guy, and it happens. I mean, some guys just aren't. I mean, and I'm not saying Brandon Jones isn't a good cover. He's not a good cover guy to the point where he can guard a guy man to man. He's just not that type of. He's gonna get roasted when you go out there and watch one-on-ones. Brandon Jones is gonna get roasted. He's a good, stay behind the guy, come down and make a play. But even yesterday, he couldn't even get that done. So
he was
that's where you
better
struggle,
last
man.
year. I'm going to push back a little bit on that narrative because I agree with you. He's not going to coverage, but he actually showed a lot of signs last year that he was starting to evolve before he got injured. Because his cover skills actually got a lot better under.
I'm not saying he wasn't getting better. I'm just saying that he's not what we need in there right now. Because
Agreed.
what I saw yesterday is a guy who just looked real timid. He looked like he wasn't comfortable. He looked like he didn't want to throw his body around and make plays. And that's when you have a guy like that in the game, he becomes a liability. There's two type of guys in it. There's two type of guys on the field. There's assets and there's liabilities. One guy's gonna hurt you, one guy's gonna help you. Jerome Baker, liability. Brandon Jones, liability. Bethel, liability. You gotta get some assets on the field, man. But I appreciate you coming through, Alex. I got some other people I gotta bring in.
Yeah, go ahead,
bro.
CB. You have a good one. All right, good to hear from you, bro.
Hey, good to hear from you too, bro. We're gonna rock it this week. We got the Giants. We're gonna smack them boys, bro.
Damn right.
All right, bro. Later. Shout out to the homie Alex for coming through the members gang. I got to bring up the homie Anthony Manzano. Hopefully, Anthony, don't come in here with no crazy takes or I'm going to make it short, bro. What's up with you, man?
Hey, CB, how are you today, man?
I'm going good. It's going good.
I lost my hair that game. I lost more of my hair that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It gets ugly, man. It gets ugly on games like that. It does.
And I said, I understand why we drafted Brandon Jones in the beginning. I think he fits more of a traditional. I said it in the back chat. He's a traditional strong safety. He's not. He's an in the box guy, and I don't think in Fangio's defense you can use traditional in the box safeties. You need three guys who can cover.
Yeah.
Who are more versatile at the safety position and stuff like that.
And I agree with you. You need some guys back there who can really cover, who have some range back there, right? Who can move around, who can fly around and go from sideline to sideline,
or maybe start transition. Maybe trade for another corner and transition X to safety.
Nah, it's not happening.
Why do you say that?
At this point in his career, X is going to be a corner, and he's never going to move from the position. He'll probably retire before he goes before a coach asks him to go be a safety. Because
you think he's too stubborn?
Yeah,
I think for that.
Yeah. I think he's too stubborn, too prideful. I think he feels like he's one of the best corners on the field, and I don't know if Fangio feels like that about him. To be completely honest with you, I think Fangio and X may not have the best relationship, and I think there may be some tension there.
You think we might end up having? I know people hate when I say this. Do you think eventually we might trade him during the season? Because it seems like he's not getting along with Fangio?
Nah, I don't see that happening. That would be really extreme. right? I don't see that happening because he's still an asset to the team. He's still going to go out there and make plays, and he's going to make some flashy plays, right? But I do think we may see Cam sooner than later at this point because the guys that are in there just aren't really getting it done. And
Do you
I'd
think
rather
they
you.
don't? Do you think
I
they're not playing Cam because they feel he's not ready yet?
yeah. I think they feel he's not ready, but at this point, you need to speed him up because you got guys like Bethel in there, and you got guys like Brandon Jones in there who
That's
aren't.
what pisses me off about that line of thinking though is the corner position is the one position that needs reps, not sitting down. I think that's what happened with Noah. That's why he was hesitating so much because he
Yeah.
wasn't getting any reps because he was sitting behind guys like Byron and X. He didn't really get enough reps while he was here. Look
And I agree.
Look,
Look, and I agree with you, but it's hard in a year where you're trying to win, right? It's hard for you to say I'm gonna put a guy out there that I need to get reps because I want to bring him along. Like those guys could either be a liability or an asset, and if they're a liability, like if Cam Smith goes in and he's getting burnt deep on plays and he's getting beat, then he's a liability and it's going to cost you a game. And I don't know if this team has the time to be
and
losing
patience.
games and patience to be losing games because you're trying to bring a guy along.
Okay, and Mountie said something about McDaniel's arrogance. Who do you think he learned that from? The Shanahans had that issue, like they refused to adjust and stuff like that. They have that arrogance about them that they have to be the smartest man in the room.
And I think that's fair. And I think every coach has got to have a little bit of cocky. They got to have a little bit of swag,
There's
a
a
little bit of
difference between
confidence to 'em.
cockiness and arrogance. Arrogance is what can cost your team.
You're right. There's definitely a difference, but I think there's a very fine line between the two, to be completely honest with you, right? So we can say, hey, cockiness, confidence, and arrogance, it's two separate things, but I think there's a very fine line between the two. And I think every coach, every great mind needs a little bit of both, right? And you just got to figure out, and maybe he hasn't figured out, hey, when I should scale that back and when I should, let that rip. But even going forward on fourth downs at times, like and not running the ball, like you put it into his hand on fourth down, fourth and short, and you decide not to run it. I was a little confused there because it's
That
like, man,
Ingold thing confused me. That fourth down Ingold run confused me. The one where was that a wildcat formation?
I don't know. I don't
You know what I'm
remember
talking
that.
about?
No, so I remember I'm talking about the one where it's 4th and 1. We drop back and we decide not to run the football, and we try to throw it, but Tua gets sacked, and we take the sack and we end up punting. So that's the one I'm talking about in particular. And it's like, bro, just run the football. Like why are we trying to outthink ourselves? Like if you can't run a jet sweep or something to get you 1 yard, then we are doing something clearly wrong, right? You need to be looking at the box, counting who's in there, and trying to figure out where you can run this ball to get this 1 yard. But putting it into his hands when the offensive line is not doing a great job of protecting just doesn't make sense to me, man. And that's what blows me at times. And
yeah,
I think Mike McDaniels is figuring that out too. He's got to figure that out.
And this is why at the beginning of the year, when we were saying we should trade for a Jonathan Taylor, I was saying trade, since we complained that our offensive line is suspect a little bit in the interior. That's why I was saying trade for a guy like Quentin Nelson from the.
Yeah. So you're talking about offensive lineman.
Yeah. Trade for a guard, an elite guard who's basically on a rebuilding team.
It's just hard, and because I mean those guys are in the office making these decisions. If Connor Williams was healthy, I don't think we'd be having this conversation, to be completely honest with you.
For the guard position, I'm talking about the guard. The left guard position is suspect.
No, our left guard position is fine. I think Isaiah Wynn's fine. I think what hurt us on Sunday is not Isaiah Wynn, but Eichenberg at center. I think that's what hurt us on Sunday. So,
could I ask you, like,
last question.
What confused me about that? what do these referees expect a guy like Eichenberg, who's running at full speed, a big guy like that, to stop and turn around like on a dime? That's
No,
hard to do. Like,
no, he wasn't. Look, so on that play, he's not supposed to get up the field. He has to know that Tua's passing the ball, right? It's pass protection, but he's selling run. They want it to look like run. But Eichenberg clearly messed up on the play because and you saw him realize, oh shit, I'm up the field and I need to be further back, and the referee called it. So that's just a mistake, a boneheaded play by Eichenberg. Just
yeah,
not.
and I made a mistake when I was hyping Eichenberg up because of the Notre Dame connection, because Notre Dame tends to develop great offensive linemen, and I thought Eichenberg was going to be one of the next ones.
Yeah.
And my evaluation of him was wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I admit I was wrong.
It happens. It happens. But man, I appreciate you coming on,
Thanks.
Tony. I got a couple people I need to get on. I
Okay,
appreciate
bye.
you coming through, bro.
Okay, bye.
All right, later. Shout out to the homie Tony Manzano for coming through. The homie Doc Reginald Brown. What's good with you, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Do I gotta talk you off a cliff, or are you good, man?
Hey, man, it's the 4th game of the year. Sometimes you come out there and you don't have your A game, man. And
man, Doc, bro, and Doc, this is so you played in the NFL, right? And you understand, like, going out there, trying to perform, trying to make plays, trying to execute. Like, tell people what it's like to go out there, and some days you just don't have it. Like, I mean,
yeah, I think it's a couple things. One is, you come out and you have a great game, and the world is at your fingertips, and now you have a bad game and London Bridge is falling down. That's a fan's perspective.
right.
I just think that, this is something that we're going to go through. Look, there's only been one 17-0 team, so you're going to get your ass kicked. You know what I mean? And I know that the way that they did it is a little concerning because it exposed us in some areas, but better now in week 4 than in week 17. So no, we good, man.
Yeah. I think we're good too, man. And I read something that, hey, when teams score like 50 or more points in a game, their records are like, 1-5 the following week or something like that.
There's a natural letdown because you're human. And then number one, and I heard this, which was shocking, we haven't won a week 4 game since like 2014.
Jeez, that's crazy.
When I heard that, I was like, are you kidding me?
That's crazy. Hey, they just giving the Wolfpack more ammo to just clamor on for these. Boy, they killing us with these.
Well, this week, I think that, again, the maturation of our team as it goes further, because you look at our schedule, and again, it's all providing on health. Like, we're gonna go into Philadelphia 6-1. Or 5-1, or whatever that number is.
Right.
I want to say 6-1 when we get to Philadelphia, 5-1, right? And then you'll see, and you'll have another measuring stick to see where you're at. And then, we're going to go to the playoffs, and we're going to be in really good shape. It's just a matter of how much more does our defense get better. It's kind of pointless. I listen at this and say, oh, we should have had Boyer, and maybe we got to go out and draft. This is our team, man. This is the year. This is what we have, and it's good enough.
Yeah, and it is good enough. And I mean, we know this roster on paper was good to begin with. I think at this point, it's just a matter of Vic Fangio figuring out the defense. Yeah. Like, he's got to figure it out. He's got to try to get these young guys some opportunities. Like, we got to see Cam Smith at some point, because I just don't think the guys we got in there are that much better than him. Like Justin Bethel, honestly, Kohu he should be in the slot. I think that's where he's at his best, when he's in the slot. And I'd like to see Cam Smith get on the outside along with X. And then, you got Ramsey coming back. We need Deshaun Elliott back. I think there's plenty of opportunities for that unit, for the defensive unit, to get much, much better. We just don't have all our dogs right now. And when you don't have all your dogs, you're going to struggle. especially
Well,
when you go into Buffalo.
I think there are a couple things that go into this. Like Vic Fangio has been in this league for a long time. He recognizes that the playoff and the Super Bowl ain't gonna be won in the fourth game of the year,
Right.
right?
It doesn't happen like that. Yeah.
So he is certainly doing things and trying things and working with the defense to see what works, what doesn't work, et cetera, et cetera. And I imagine that as we go through the year, it won't be, and I heard you say this earlier, it won't be till week 8 or 9 or 10 that we settle in and say, okay, here it is based on the personnel that we have, et cetera, et cetera. This is what's going to give us our best chance to win. Because if you notice, the defense has seemingly changed the first 4 weeks of the year. You know, Van Ginkel wasn't there, and then he was there, and David Long is out, and now he's in. And what about Baker being taken out, and then Coder on the boundary, Eli White here, and so that you keep seeing this jacking with it to see what works, what combination come the last 10 weeks, the last 6 weeks of the season. What's the best? That's what they're doing on defense. They're trying all of these different things, man.
Yeah. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's your it sounds like you're fine with the loss, from that standpoint. What do you think what are some things you think we could do to kind of just adjust and get better and be a better football team?
Well, I do think there were some things that were concerning. You look at when they pressed us, I don't think we had an answer with Tyreek, and they still, being physical with us at the line is a thing, and it's a real thing, and we're gonna have to, come up with something to do with that, whether it's bunt formations, whether it's different formations that get guys in better positions with releases, because teams are clearly saying that's a thing. Obviously Chubb and Wilkins on the defensive line are some concerns. You would expect it, both of those guys to, if you're not going to get, like, I don't know if Wilkins is even having an impact.
He's struggling, man.
Yeah,
He's struggling. He's struggling to get off blocks, and sometimes those interior guys just struggle. And I didn't expect Christian to play like this. From what we heard from training camp, we heard this dude was just on another level. And it's just really disappointing to see him out there really struggling to make plays, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. Like, he's still just struggling to make plays, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and certainly you don't want to say it's the mini holdout, a partial holdout, or whatever he was doing training camp. But as difficult it is, your mind got to be on football, and it got to really be. And when that money, because I don't know what effect it's having on him, I just know it has as an effect when.
So honestly, what's it like when you're playing for a contract, and like, are you pressing? Are you really trying to I
can only speak. Certainly, I was not on the level of Christian Wilkins, but for me, particularly my second and third year of the league, when I played, you could be on the practice squad only one time. There wasn't a second year. So when the second year, I'm playing for my livelihood. I was on the practice squad my first year. I make the team the second year, and the third year is the same thing. It's I'm playing for my livelihood and everything in me. So I'm grinding a little bit different. When you have some bread, and now you're going to get a bigger paycheck, you don't know the psyche of how all of that works. So again, I don't want to be in his mind. I just know that these things matter. The work matters.
Yeah. And man, I mean, the interior line, Chubb, AVG's been solid. I just think we're just having a hard time getting some pressure right now. And I don't know whether it's Fangio not dialing up enough slants or stunts or movement. I just feel like this defense this front seven isn't really physical. And when you're not physical like that, you're gonna get exposed in games.
And two, you look at this. Josh Allen, and to his credit, gets up for Miami. You
Oh
know what
yeah,
I mean? And
yeah,
so if you go back to that game, particularly early on, there were plays where we were right there and didn't make the play, particularly on Josh Allen.
hmm
A missed tackle. He steps up and moves left, and now he runs for 7 or 8. You know what I'm saying? He made those plays that, I think that they have a tendency to take the wind out you, and you know
yeah.
the,
And
the
that's
yeah.
and you're on point with that one because there's certain quarterbacks who can make those plays that kind of take the wind out of the defense, like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, those guys who can run the football, just take off, make throws off platform, and just like pick you apart. You're just like, damn, there's no stopping this guy. And I think that's what we kind of saw some of yesterday. And it's like, man, nobody's stepping up to make plays. And when you do get the opportunity to tackle, like guys are getting ran over slowly, like Javon Holland's getting ran over slowly. Brandon Jones can't wrap up. Like it's just when it rains, it pours in some of these
Yeah.
games, man.
And again, the other thing that was, I don't want to say concerning, but at least gave me pause, was I didn't see Mike McDaniels make the in-game adjustments
Yeah.
as well as I would have liked him to. And I don't know what, I haven't not seen the all 22 yet. I don't know what that answer was, so I don't want to say he should have did this or that, but
Right,
I
right.
know we didn't change a lot of what we were doing.
From
We
first half to second half. Yeah.
we one of the things that was interesting is we stayed in condensed formations, right?
Yeah. We never
Where
really spreaded them out.
Right. If you're having all of these issues, with not being able to block, and they were sending
You
linebackers
gotta widen out the field a little bit, right?
yes, yes.
And
And that's just one thing that I saw that I thought, well, maybe if we do this, and instead of us doing Tyreek where we were doing the motion out, maybe we're doing motion in now to, create
yeah,
some stuff there. So there were some things that I thought we could have did. And again, without seeing the all 22, because they could have made some adjustment, and I just couldn't tell,
yeah, yeah.
on the TV. But I thought there were things that we could have did better. But the sky is not falling, man. We're a good football team.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with you. And I mean, that's an interesting perspective, the in-game adjustment. And I did see that too. It's like you have these double tight end condensed formations. Maybe you just spread them out and play 5 wide and make their corners play, especially when you got Tre'Davious White out with an Achilles injury and stuff like that. At some point, you just say, "Hey, let's go 5 wide and let's play. Let's make these guys play out there."
Like,
Like
you
that.
noticed that Hill was in the game a lot, right? And I don't know how many plays he got, but it seemed to me we weren't running the ball, but Hill was in the game. So to me, like you said, if we ain't gonna run it, then let's put Barrios and let's put Chosen and Cheetah and Waddle and do some stuff there if we ain't gonna run it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what I mean, because when you have those condensed formations like that, all them guys in the box, you don't know who's coming and who's not coming. So it makes
Yes.
it difficult on the offensive line too, because they're like, man, we don't know who's coming or who's not coming. You got a slot receiver right next to me. This guy off the ball could be coming here or playing Tyreek or playing whoever's in that slot. So it does become just difficult, to figure out.
And
But
again, some of the things I think about, like we have been working on the draw and the screen
tunnel
during the
screens.
preseason.
Yep, yep.
Those were plays that I thought we had some opportunities, because again, they was killing us, up front. So you
Mhm.
start doing things, the receiver screen, the draw, the running back screen get to slow those guys down because now they're rushing upfield and
Yeah.
now you know what I mean. So I didn't see some of those things that I thought, particularly in the second quarter when it was apparent that their defensive line was taking over.
Yeah, man. And I think, and what bothered me too, I just didn't see us take shots, man. Like, it was Buffalo that good to where they kept Tyreek, Waddle, and everybody in front of them all the time? I mean, bro, this team has got to be a team that's going to go down the field at least once or twice a quarter, just to take the top off the defense and let them know, hey, we still are looking to make big impact plays.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I didn't see throughout the game. And that's when I knew something was up. And I knew we were going to struggle because it's like, man, we can't even take a shot on a go ball or a wheel route or nothing. We can't throw a bang eight down the middle of the field. We can't hit a skinny post, or we can't hit a wheel route. It's just like, man, I don't know what we're doing, bro. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. But I feel like Mike McDaniel's got to do a better job. And honestly, he's got to take some shots, even if they're not opportunities that are always, and it puts you in the best situation, but you still got to be able to use that field. You still got to be able to extend these guys and push those guys down the field. We didn't do it yesterday. We just didn't do it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the Giants got an ass whipping coming for Buffalo. So
yeah, they can blame Buffalo for what's going to happen Sunday. They can blame Buffalo. Hey, but I appreciate you coming through, Doc. It's always good talking, man. Good chopping it up. Hey, the homie, EM and Lewis was in the chat hating like a mug, boy. You know it was in there hating.
That's what they do. But I tell you what, I bet now one of them won't pull up on me.
Hey, them boys scared. Hey, the link is dropped, man. They won't pull up. Them boys scared. Them boys be running that high, man.
Yeah.
If they ain't in their Twitter spaces where they got the Mean Girls Club with them, they don't tend to come around.
Yeah, they don't ride solo when you can come to a place and go one-on-one. They always got they look ponies behind.
He be like, pull up in the backstage. Hey, pull up in the backstage.
Yeah. That's what
hey, speaking of there you go. There he go.
Hey, you calling for the boogeyman? Is that what we doing? You calling for the boogeyman?
Damn, that's the only way I could get you out.
That's
bro.
the only way we can get him out.
Hey, that's music to my ears when I hear that pull up on man. That's music to my ears, Doc. You already know that. I don't know who this other guy is. This is the first time I've seen him, so I have no idea. You got a brand new channel. This is a brand new channel. This is another Dolphin channel going up. Oh, okay.
Hey, this is hilarious, man. Hey, Lou, where you at, man? Come give your boy some help. You know you're gonna need it in about 5-10 minutes, man. Come give your boy some help now.
Hey, I would like to hear EM's perspective. Ooh. I know he does a lot of work with that defensive line.
You said DM. You said he do a lot of chatty patties in the back channels. Is that what you said?
Listen at this hoe. Listen at this hoe. Doc, you hear this hoe? Doc, you hear this hoe?
He said DM, bro.
Hey, I ain't gonna call him out on who DM he been sliding up in. I ain't gonna do that live.
Really, Doc?
Hey, you been sliding DMs?
Doc, you know you's a hoe for that, Doc. You already know.
Hey, but look, EM, I do want to hear your perspective on the D line, man.
Hey, man, listen. I think first, it's not time to hit the panic button yet. It's a new scheme, new techniques, new philosophies Fangio's trying to implement. But there are some things, though, in the first 4 weeks. Is the reason why I haven't really spoken on this publicly, because I always give it I think a 4 games are enough of a sample size where we can identify, deficiencies or strengths, etc. Right? So I don't know, within the fourth 4 game, even in that Broncos game, you know, if the game was closer and I felt like if the Broncos, like if the game was closer and the Broncos were actually in that game, if we didn't get out in such a big of a lead, and to where the run game would be, you know,
Out of the
would be in
picture.
play, right? The run game would be in play. I felt like they could have had some success on the ground against us. And to me, overall, the defense has regressed statistically. We all know that. But I think the biggest contributor to that is the lack of physicality up front. And when you look at the tape, CB, you claim to watch tape, right? I think that's what I heard you claim. So
Yeah,
you would
Jerome,
see
hey,
the lack of
Dwayne,
consistency up
what do
front, and I think it's two. And I think it's two things. I think this, what you know, and I'm just coming from primarily from the front four, right? They're coming from that two gap, that two gap technique, what they've been used to under Flores and Josh Boyer, right? To this 1 to 1.5 gap, which it's different responsibilities, different requirements for that. And I think the front is struggling with that right now. And I think this front is better suited for that two gap format. And also, I think this is what Fangio was going to do. He's going to. I think if we don't see any improvement in that gap and a half format, I think he has no other choice but to go back to that two gap type of approach, because that protects your linebackers, right? When you know. CB, you know this, Doc, you would know this as well in terms of the technique, the application up front. There are two different types of responsibilities. 1 and 1.5 gap is required more for guys to penetrate, get upfield, focus more on the pass, and a run game is secondary. Well, with two gapping, the primary is to, you know, be disciplined within your lanes, the A, the B, the C gaps, right? All, you know, especially on that interior. And that protects your linebackers. And see, now this was my biggest concern with this application that Vic Fangio was trying to implement. You heard him say, go back to the offseason when they were talking about the linebackers primarily, right? He requires the responsibility he put on his linebackers is that, you know, he requires that they diagnose consistently, that, you know, again, they are the ones that
read and react.
Exactly, right? And we know that that's never been Jerome Baker's strong suit.
That's not his jam.
David Long, on the other hand, has been more consistent in that regard, but there's no stability up front. And I don't care how good your linebackers are. It could be Ray Lewis, it could be Zach Thomas, it could be the greatest at that position. If you don't have stability up front, if you don't have guys consistently keeping your interior linebackers clean, every linebacker is going to struggle, bro. And I think that, you know, when you're talking about up front, what we're seeing now is guys that are struggling with the technique that Fangio is requiring of them. And that, you know, and I think if we don't see, and again, why y'all want to wait till the eighth game, the eighth week, bro? But this is a Super Bowl.
But here's the thing.
But
go ahead, bro.
But I think you got to give it some time, and I think.
But eight games, CB.
But this is my thing, and
in a Super Bowl year, bro.
No, I mean, honestly, you have no choice but to wait. I mean, this is the. I mean, what are you gonna do? Fire him?
Well, no. What I mean is, well, okay. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Before you change things, well, again, I might be a little cloudy on what you mean by we should wait to the eighth week.
You have to evaluate them based on that. Like, I mean, you have to give them some time. Like, honestly, you have to give them you're gonna have to give them the entire year to figure shit out anyway, because you're not gonna fire him in year one.
No, I'm not saying fire him. I'm talking about changing your application, changing what in something that's better suited to what you have up front. Because again, bro, this ain't 2019.
But here's the thing, Ian, though. You can't change who you are fundamentally that you've been working on all summer, all off season, and say,
very difficult to
go
do
from this to this. That ain't gonna work. That's why
we seen Boyer do it last year. We saw Boyer do that last year.
Boyer did it out of desperation.
Great coaches have that ability to change on the fly and adapt, right? We see it every year.
Right. But Ian, this is my thing. I think when you're talking defensive schemes, I think there's a lot of different plays and a lot of different looks that these guys have. But I think fundamentally they're one thing. I think you can still adapt, make changes, be a different, show some different stuff. And I'm going to get Lewis in here. He was in the backstage. I know you called him for some help, but we'll work that
Yeah. Okay. For y'all, for you too. Yeah. Okay.
But I think fundamentally, I mean, you could do some stuff and change up some stuff, but you're not really going to change who you are. I mean,
no, and nobody's saying that, but but you can live in a world where, again,
you adjust for sure. Like you do what's best for your team. Like,
CB, he inherited, and see, he inherited every player, right, from his predecessor. Every player,
which isn't fair.
Well,
call it what you want, but that's the hand that's been dealt to him.
And you got to coach him up. Go ahead, Doc.
This is the fundamental issue for me. It is not the scheme. I do not see players winning one-on-one. I don't see Chubb beating his one-on-one battles.
I would agree.
Phillips,
I would agree.
Getting close. I don't see freaking Wilkins destroying people when he gets singly blocked. I don't see Zach Zeller.
But you didn't see him doing that last year either. When have you ever seen him when he just destroying people?
Christian Wilkins was winning last year.
Plays.
Yeah.
Not in pass rush. Not in the pass. He was.
I'm not saying pass. I'm saying
okay. You're talking about overall. You're talking primarily overall. Okay.
I'm saying like primarily. I don't see them winning their battles.
Question for you guys. Question for the panel. Didn't it seem like Christian Wilkins played with a much better energy last year than he's playing this year?
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what, Doc? I think Doc hit, and I said this earlier, but Doc was spot on when he said,
"Of course,
it could be." This is the first time. Ring the bell, CB. Ring the siren, because this is the first time, and probably the last, right? So I think that whole contract situation, I think the new scheme, all of that, I think he's in his head right now. You know what I mean? And you're seeing a guy that might be going out there pressing a little too much, right? Not being as disciplined as he should be. And Mike McDaniel kind of referenced, I forget exactly what game it was, but he referenced about how guys were the lack of discipline and guys was too eager to make plays as opposed to being sound in the overall structure of the D line. What game was that? I know y'all remember him saying that at his, one of his press conferences recently. I forget exactly what game it is, but you're seeing that, and that could be what's going on with him because he's trying to get that bag. We all know his situation, and he might be trying to press a little too much, but it's caught to piggyback off Doc's point is the lack of physicality. That's the most biggest surprise for me, bro.
Surprising, it is.
That I understand you're trying.
Zach Seiler lost. Where is Zach Seiler at, bro? Like,
I would agree. I would agree. But that to me,
supposed to be world beaters, is not doing a job right now, bro.
But you know what though? In terms of the pass rush, I'm willing to give it somewhat of a pass because. Not overlook, but give them somewhat a pass. But teams are gassing us on a run game too much. You can't rush the passer, if you're giving up 4+ yards a carry.
Well,
you cannot do that.
Honest with you, I think we're hurting right now because Jalen Phillips is a key. He might not be a key. Well, he's a key.
Bro, he's the worst in terms of run, in terms of setting the edge, bro.
And I get that.
He's the worst out of all of them.
And I get that, right? But I think Jalen Phillips is a guy who you're gonna put on that edge, and then you can put Van Ginkel in the middle next to David Long Jr. And that's how I think Fangio really wants to play. I think he really wants Jalen Phillips on the edge. He really wants Van Ginkel next to David Long Jr., and that's how he wants to play defense. I think now he's forced to put Van Ginkel on the edge, bring Agba in the game at times, and you got to bring in a guy like Duke Riley. Like, Duke Riley honestly shouldn't be on the field. Like, let's be completely honest with ourselves.
Well,
decent football player.
I'm gonna say this, and this might ruffle some feathers in the community, but I'm gonna tell you this. I said it earlier. Somebody on the edge needs to go to the bench. Yeah, I don't care if you got to write names down and put them in a hat and draw the ticket, pulling straws. I don't give a fuck what you got to do, but Van Ginkel needs to be on the field. He's your best pass rusher. He's your best player overall right now at that position. He's the most natural your best guy one-on-one right now. He's your most consistent. Somebody needs to go to the bench. I don't give a fuck who it is. It could be Chubb. It could be Jalen Phillips. But somebody needs to go on the bench, and Van Ginkel needs to be on the field.
Yeah, I think Van Ginkel's going to steal reps from Jalen Phillips for sure. I mean, but I think you need a guy like Jalen Phillips because those guys are rotational guys. And you honestly, I think Van Ginkel's going to be at his best pass rushing when you can rotate him in, like you can rotate spot play him and rotate him in like that, and be able to spill him on certain downs. So Jalen Phillips, we need him to get healthy. We need all the players we can get right now defensively because it showed on Sunday.
Hey,
Go ahead,
what
Lou.
is this? Twitter? You got to raise your hand in here to talk. Like, what's going on in
Oh
here?
no, you just jump in, bro. You gotta be a
What
big
kind
boy.
of
You gotta
outfit
be a
is he
big boy.
running, Lou?
You
What
gotta
kind of
be a
outfit
big
is
boy.
this,
Hey,
bro?
be a big boy.
Chili
Jump in on the
friend.
conversation, man.
There goes
Well,
Chili friend.
well, I wanted to hear. I just wanted to hear all the excuse making before I came and spoke. Can
Oh,
we
really?
y'all can sit here and talk about your Duke Rileys, your Bradley Chubb going to the bench, your Phillips getting healthy. I want to talk about one person and one person only, right? We're breaking news out here, CB, tonight. I'm Dolphins receipts. I done came out and I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm Dolphins
You
receipts.
ain't Dolphins receipts. Stop.
How
playing.
in the hell y'all giving Vic Fangio? Let me a quick question for the panel. How long has Vic Fangio been calling defense in the NFL?
30 years.
Long time.
So 30 years plus. All
Yeah.
I heard was Josh Boyer was holding this team back, right? Now I have to sit here and I get a whole panel of people talking about, well, not a whole panel. I don't want to throw EM in this, but Doc and CB, y'all talking about week 8, week 9, week 10. See, EM is correct. This ain't the Major League Baseball where you got 162 games to figure its shit out. This ain't the NBA where you have 82 games. Hold on, CB, before you start talking.
I ain't
You
say
got
nothing,
7.
bro. I was
Yo, no,
laughing.
I seen that little smirk. You got 17 weeks. So by week 8, week 9, if this defense ain't together, your ass gonna lose games. The fact of the matter is, this defense is worse than last year. So all I'm asking for is where's this goddamn energy at? Because all I hear is everybody making excuses now. Well, how do you want Vic to get it done with Jerome Baker? Well, let me ask you a question. Was Jerome Baker the linebacker for Josh Boyer last year?
Yeah, but he was trash then too.
Okay,
DFF had him ranked 17th overall last year. DFF had him ranked 17th overall last year.
That's because he was
Can be
blitzing.
true at the same time, though. Last year, two things could be true at the same time. Boyer was horrible, and so is Fangio at this point. To make it seem like, oh, we should have Boyer and the defense would be better.
Who said that?
That's
Who
what
said
you're
that?
saying.
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what you're saying. Like, I thought Boyer was trash. Yes, Boyer was trash. And Fangio is trash
Doc,
too.
Hey, Doc, let me ask you a question. We can only go by sample sizes, right? That's what everybody goes by, right?
Yeah,
right. Both of them trash.
Okay. Okay, cool. After 4 games last year, right? 3-1. After 4 games this year, 3-1. Let's document it though, Doc. Again, I'm just looking for the same energy. I don't want to hear about these excuses that, again, that's what it sounded like to me that you guys were making.
No, I'm just thinking we can't call
Doc.
excuses. Let me just say this. You can't call excuses and facts the same thing.
No, they're not
there
facts,
are some facts.
No. You can't tell me.
They don't like context, Doc. The Wolfpack don't like context.
If you don't take the facts.
The facts are we were 4th against the run last year, and now we're at the bottom of the league. Those are facts.
Look. Hey, but this is. Hey, can we talk about this real quick? This is a fact. They had 3 years to put that defense together. Early on, the defense struggled. Like, let's not forget this. Let's not get for the 7-game skids where we lost games. Like, let's not. Come on,
that
guys,
wasn't because of the defense. We wouldn't get ran over on the defense.
Come on, guys.
With the exception of 2019, we have never been this inconsistent up front under Brian Flores. That is a fact.
I'm going to say this. We always go back to Brian Flores 3-4 years ago. That's all we got.
Oh, y'all love talking Flores, bro.
Let me just say this.
No, we not. See, I hate that when y'all try to make it out to be a Flores. It's not
comparing the two, though. Y'all comparing the two.
But isn't that how things go? You get coaches get compared, players get compared to their predecessors. Isn't that the nature of the NFL?
His
bro.
predecessor
I
was
think it's a
Boyer.
little wild. I think it's a
hey,
little
Doc.
wild to do after 4
but y'all
games.
so quick to y'all so see the
Hey,
hypocrisy. Let
Hey,
see how
I think it's a
hypocritical. You
I think
see
it's
how
a
hypocritical that
Ian.
is.
let,
Y'all
I
are
think
so
it's a
quick to
little wild
compare
to do.
Flores. Y'all are so quick to compare Flores and Mike McDaniel on the offensive side of the football, but when
but
it
you
comes to
can't
the
do it.
defense, y'all don't want
Right.
to hear nothing about it.
No, that's not true. I don't know what
Right.
you're
Stop
talking
it.
about.
Fangio
Let me
just
just
Stop
got
it.
here.
just
Fangio
let me
just got
say
here.
this. Let me just say this.
So he just got here.
I'm
So throw
agreeing with
this year out the
you.
window then.
I'm agreeing with you that if
What you saying?
in a
Like,
few
what?
if in a few weeks our defense look like this, I'm gonna be all over Fangio ass. I totally agree with you.
No,
I'm just saying,
I can't wait. This is a
well,
Super Bowl year,
They
Doc.
not waiting.
no,
They
I'm
not waiting
telling
till
you.
week
This is
8.
Super
All
Bowl year,
I'm
bro.
telling you, all I'm telling you is and I've said this about Fangio, and I've said about the players. My first statement was the players are not winning. Christian Wilkins has disappeared. Shaq Sealer has disappeared.
Yeah.
Baker has disappeared. Maybe that's a function of the defense, or maybe that's of some other function that I don't see. That I saw Chubb getting his ass whooped yesterday in one-on-one battles. I
Yeah.
saw Christian Williams getting stoned at the line in one-on-one battles. I'm not gonna put that on the coach. I'm gonna put that on some players
But that
who ain't
right
making
there is,
Well,
plays.
but Doc, that's the
They're not
hypocritical.
winning one-on-one
That no,
battles. I
no,
mean,
no,
that's
but that's the hypocritical part. See,
what.
stop right there. Let me explain why. Because y'all just keep cutting people off when they're talking. You can't have it out both sides of your mouth. Last year, Christian Wilkins wasn't winning one-on-one battles,
He
but it was
was.
Boyer's fault. He was not. Bradley
Bro, he
Chubb
was
wasn't winning.
eating.
Bradley Chubb wasn't
Wait
winning
a minute.
one-on-one battles last year. It was
Christian Wilkins
Boyer's
didn't
fault.
have
You
Christian
what it
Wilkins
no
didn't have a good
Doc
year last
Doc
He
year.
had a
Doc
career year
Doc
last year,
Doc,
bro.
you
What are
know,
you
against
talking
the
Doc,
about?
run, against
Doc,
the
Right,
But
run,
that's
what
he
are
what
you
we're
did.
talking
talking
about?
about. That's what
it's
we're
What are you
talking
talking
Doc,
about.
about?
Doc
You
is
just
talking
said,
about pass
No,
rush.
no,
He
I'm
said
you
not.
said,
Stonewall.
you just
No,
said
I'm
Doc
we were
is
the
not.
talking
fourth.
about pass rush
Bro,
right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Jim, you
No, I'm
just
not.
said we were the fourth ranked defense last year stopping the run. Now
I
you
said
saying we're
we
20 something. So we're
right.
talking about the
What are
run.
you
Like, what are you
talking
talking
about?
about, bro? Come on, bro.
No, he said Chubb got stonewalled in pass
Yes,
rush,
I don't see
Christian
and he said Christian
Wilkins.
Wilkins got
I'm
stonewalled
just
in pass
talking about.
rush.
No, I didn't say
Yeah,
pass
you
rush. I
funny.
Oh,
said
okay, all
in the
right,
run.
okay. Well, my bad. Then
No,
my bad.
get your
no, don't
Q-tips,
say
Hey,
my
bro,
man.
get your
bad. Don't say
Q-tips.
my bad. They moving the goalposts just like what they
No, that's
do.
not
Hey,
what
The
I'm
hey,
fact
saying.
of the
Lewis, you
fact
need
of
to
the
get
matter
your Q-tips
Hit him,
too.
Lou. Put
the
your foot on his neck. God
the
damn it.
fact of the matter is the reason they don't like talking about Boyer and the reason they don't like comparing Brian Flores to other things, right? Because they got their guys in house. See, the problem is, and CB, you've been around today on Twitter. Don't act like you didn't hear it. Doc, I know you was around. I know you heard it. We all heard it. You know what the narrative's
No,
going
I
around
wasn't on
today?
today.
Okay, well, let me tell you what everybody's been saying today, Doc. It's the players' fault now. It's all the players' fault. When last year, these same players, right? Now, when Brian Flores was here, though, Doc, it was a Brian Flores problem. When Josh Boyer was here, it was a Josh Boyer problem with these same players. But now, all of a sudden, right? Now that we got McDaniel, everybody's favorite coach, the lovable guy, right? Now that we got Big Dick Vic in the building, right? Oh, that's the coordinator we wanted. Now they can fuck up, right? Now they can't get their job done, and now it's the players' fault. You see how, from an optics perspective, Doc, how it looks?
But I
Y'all are
think,
being
Hey, Lewis,
hypocritical.
go ahead, CB.
but this is the thing. And when you look at the game yesterday, guys, it's never going to be one thing. It's going to be a combination of everything. It's going to be a combination of coaching, game plan, scheme, as well as players not making plays.
Last
And,
year was just
and when you
coaching,
look
though,
at
right, CD?
and when you look at Latavius Murray
Oh,
running
okay.
up the
All
middle
right.
and Brandon Jones just literally going at his legs and whiffing, that's not on Boyer. I mean that's not on Fangio. When you look at
Luke, go
when
ahead. I'm
when
sorry.
See,
when you have when you
Did we miss tackles last year,
we
CD?
missed
Let
no
me
we
just
were more
respond to
we
that.
were better last year.
Hey,
We were better
So
last
we
CB,
year when
weren't
it came to that.
no, we weren't.
so we weren't missing tackles
I'm
last
not
year.
saying I didn't say
Jerome
we
Baker didn't
never
miss
missed
tackles last year.
tackles, bro.
But
I'm saying
last year it was Boyer's fault. Listen to the difference now. You just
we're
said it.
I didn't
You
first
just said there's a
play
combination of
calling
things.
and putting guys in the right positions were the issues
And
last
whose
year.
job is that? And whose job is that, CB?
That is Josh
Okay.
Boyer job, the defensive coordinator.
Who
I've
is
seen us.
software here this year? Is
I've
it Vic
seen us
Fangio?
be. I've seen us
Is
be
it?
in much better position to make plays this year and stay in front of guys
Lewis.
this year than we
You
were
done
last
lost your
year.
motherfucking mind.
What?
Hey, Lewis.
You
How,
done
how
lost your
Answer this.
mind.
that is
One second.
ridiculous, CB. How the fuck you?
Wait,
How with a
Ian.
straight face
Come
you gonna
on,
sit up here and say
watch your
that?
profanity.
My
Watch
bad,
your
bro. My
profanity.
bad. My bad. My bad. You right.
Ian,
My
let
bad.
me
You
Hey,
done
just say
can
lost
I
your
this.
say
mind.
one
Let me
thing?
say this, Ian.
Hey,
Let me just say
go
this.
ahead, Doc, and then I'm gonna go to Irv real quick. Go
Okay,
ahead.
let me just say this. I think that this is a competent football panel that we're having right here.
It is.
So I don't like when we say, didn't I hear on Twitter they were saying this? Let us have a football conversation because I'm saying two things at the same time. I'm saying that Fangio got to figure out what is going to work in this defense. What is his combinations? He's tried Eli Apple outside. He's tried Cater outside. He's tried to do some stuff with Game Winkle, this and
He's
this. You can
moving
see
people around.
he's had long end at this. He's had, all of these different combinations. So it's clear that he's trying to figure out what is going to work from this defense. And he said
That's cap.
earlier.
That's cap right there.
Wait, let me
right
just
there,
finish.
Doc.
Just let me finish. Just let me finish.
Let him finish real
Just
quick.
let me
Okay.
finish.
All
So
right.
I'm saying that from what I see, Vic Fangio has said he doesn't think he has the personnel, so he's trying to figure it all out. But whatever he's doing right now is not working, and that's a fact. And then secondly, I'm saying that players, Christian Wilkins, Chubb, Zach Sealer, are not making plays. So I'm saying two things. He got to figure out what the hell we're going to do on defense, and the players on defense got to make some damn plays.
Hey, Doc, real quick. I'm going to be short. We're going to throw it to Irvin. But, Doc, let me touch on something you just said. Now, who would you blame in this scenario right here?
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm saying it's all jacked up.
Okay, it's all jacked up. But in this particular scenario I'm about to lay out in front of you, who would you blame in this? Because you just said Vic Fangio is trying all kind of different things. You've seen Eli Apple. You've seen Cater Cole yesterday. You've seen all these things, right? Okay, cool. If that's the case, Doc, if you're playing a corner that's on your team $18 million and your corner tells you supposedly, and again, I don't know this, I'm just saying there's rumors going out, and last night at the press con in his interview, Xavier Howard says, I wanted that matchup against Stephon Diggs.
Right.
I wanted that, but I was told that wasn't going to happen. Whose fault is that, Doc? Whose fault?
That's on.
And who's and if your team
Fangio.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted.
But there are two things that you have to. Well, you just can't say that, like answer that question and then go from there, because that's not context.
Why doesn't he feel? Why doesn't he feel comfortable putting him on that?
You got to also look at this is how we're gonna.
So he didn't feel comfortable with putting X out there, but he felt comfortable in what he was seeing from Cater Cole yesterday.
Well, to be fair, Cole, who has been the more consistent player this year. Coming into Sunday.
So what Lou talking
Cole, who
about?
was graded out as the 8th rated corner in the National Football League, coming into Sunday.
I know you hated to say that.
No. See, because this is where I'm gonna say, EM, you a hoe for that. Because before we came up here,
they turn it on each other. They turn it on each other.
That's what happened when I start cooking, dog.
Hang on.
Go
ahead, Lou. Hey, man, you got to let Irv rock after this. Lou, let Irv rock after this.
Yeah, we don't let Irv rock, but hold on. But EM know he a hoe. The fact of the matter is, right before we came up here, CB, what were you saying about Cater Cole's performance yesterday? What did you say?
I didn't say he was
you
bad.
Said,
I said, hey, he need help.
You said don't say hey.
Bro, he gonna get cooked. It's Stephon Diggs. He gonna get cooked by himself.
Okay, so if he was getting cooked yesterday, your words, not mine.
Yeah.
If you're the defensive coach, and to Doc's point, you're trying out new things, and your $18 million corner says, give me that opportunity. Why is Big Dick Vic all of a sudden telling Xavier Howard he can't do it? Why?
That's a good
I
Because
know
question.
he
the
could,
answer to
because he
that.
see him every day in practice, and he's like,
That's cat.
"No,
I don't want to hear
sir,
none of that. I don't want to hear
no,
that.
Exactly.
sir. That guy, Kohu, at this stage is the better athlete. He has more deep speed. He has more vertical speed. He's better in short areas than Xavier Howard right now, in my opinion. Now, he's not the ball hawk that Xavier Howard is, but I think at this stage, right now, he's been the consistent player. That is why
But
Fangio
EM
opted to go with Kohu.
and I get what you're saying,
That's cat.
and I'm gonna touch on this real quick, and then I'm gonna go to Irv. I get that, but in games like this, I don't care what the previous PFF told you. I understand you see him every day, but X is the better guy to play Diggs. Point blank. Period. He's done it. He's done
But
it. He's done it
but
longer.
okay, well, I'll
He's
give
done
you.
it.
I'll give
You got
you
a
in that
longer.
regard.
You got a
In that regard,
much larger sample size of doing
in
it.
that regard, I will offer
That's
no pushback. But
okay.
at the end of the
Appreciate
day,
that.
let's not act like we haven't seen
He's
Stephon
getting
Diggs
cooked. Oh yeah.
put Xavier Howard in that same spin cycle, right?
He's cooked.
That
Yeah,
we
yeah,
saw
yeah.
Cole who got put in on Sunday.
He's cooked them. Yeah. I mean, I think X has gotten cooked by a lot of people, but I think X does give you an opportunity to get a pick, to make a play, and that's something that Cater doesn't give you an
Hey,
opportunity to do.
CB, after Irv go, can I come back and address that? I know I'm gonna let Irv go, but I do
Yeah.
want to
Go
address
ahead. Go ahead, Irv. Go ahead, Irv.
Irv, take your time. Take your time, Irv. We don't want to hear Doc.
that.
I
Use a
definitely
hoe for
approve that message.
Use a hoe for that.
Yeah. He got his grass skirt on for his boy. It's all good.
Oh shit.
Hey, the Mean Girls Club in full effect tonight. Boy.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
No, the niggas that actually move the needle in the community is in full effect tonight. That's what this is, nigga.
Hey, the back channels that he's talking about in the back channels. Hey, you hang with OG and them boys. Stop playing, man.
The big dogs out tonight.
I don't know
the big dogs.
Yeah,
the big dogs. All right.
Hey, you hang with the inside leverage guys. Stop playing, bro.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. What is that?
I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is.
I thought they got put out of business. That's the last time I checked. But go ahead.
Not too much, not too much, bro.
They put them out of business.
I thought they filed for bankruptcy. I thought they filed for bankruptcy. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Shop closed.
Hey, did anybody?
They closed up shop. I heard they boarded up the windows and everything. That's what I heard.
Hey man, let Irv go, bro. Let Irv go.
Did anybody see Nick Hicks' tweet today?
Oh, I saw him. I saw him get after your boy, man. Yeah. Hey, that dude. Hey, Ennis got me blocked, but I saw he got at his ass.
He blocked you, bro. He blocked you.
He blocked me a long time ago, bro.
Hey, be careful what you say around Doc, though.
Yeah.
Be careful now. Be careful what you say around Doc. Doc is that plant. Doc is that Trojan horse. That's that Trojan horse right there.
That was your cousin.
Hey, Em, y'all boys though, stop
you
playing.
Be my
man.
homie, now you act like you don't know. Okay.
Doc is that Trojan horse, goddammit.
Hey, used to be my homie, used to be my ace. Now I want to slap the taste out your mouth. Boy, y'all boys wild, man. Go ahead, Irv. Go ahead, Irv.
Nah, I think both of you guys make good Ian, Em and Lewis. I think they make good arguments. Obviously, I think Kader Kohu, like I think is the better athlete. He is, healthier out of the two. But I get it. I mean, if you see, Kader Kohu getting roasted out there by Stephon Diggs, I think it would have been fair to say that Xavier Howard should be put on him just because of the experience of going up against Stephon Diggs. But it is what it is. I just think, like I said, I think the Fangio is a little bit, I guess you could say a little bit
stubborn.
Yeah, stubborn in some of his tendencies when it comes to play calling and execution of that playbook or whatever. But at the same time, like you got to put the blame on the players. They have a job to do, and the defensive line didn't create enough organic pressure to help the back end guys to force bad throws out of Josh Allen, and which meant relatively clean pockets for him. and he had all day to throw. And
Bro,
you know,
he
like I
did.
said, the linebackers played too deep in their zones and their drops, and they, you know, Josh Allen just took advantage of the space underneath. They just got out physical, bad tackling. Miami not necessarily they were a bad bad tackling team. They had the sixth highest grade according to PFF when it came to tackling. It's just this game was just terrible. Obviously, they missed Deshaun Elliott in the back end on the safety
That
position.
hurt.
They
That
just
hurt.
lack physicality, playmaking on the back end when it comes to, you know, pass coverage, hunting for the ball. They just, Brandon Jones was a total liability in pass coverage. Like I said, tackling was an issue, which allowed a lot of big plays against Buffalo. That's why I mean, look at the Stephon Diggs, a lot of those big plays for the touchdown. Et cetera, et cetera. Just those are just certain things that we just, Christian Wilkins, you would have thought that this, this guy looking for who's seeking
I
for
thought he
a
was the
$24 million
disruptor.
contract.
I thought
Yeah,
he
he
was
just
the
didn't do his
disruptor.
job.
He was the
job, bro.
he was the $25 million guy, right? That's
He
what the
got
fan base was
completely-
saying. Just pay the man. We have to have him. He's our best guy on
You
defense.
said
That's what
you
CB
paying
said that.
18.
See,
You
Hey,
said
real.
he
you
said
Who
that.
said that? Who said
paying
that?
18.
And-
Look
I
like
said
you
it.
Don't lie.
14.
Don't lie on
Doc,
me.
Doc,
Man.
keep it
Don't get the
1,000. Now
line
you
on
know
me,
you's a
bro.
hoe for that, Doc. What
I'm
I
just
said
saying.
was, I consistently said I would rather not pay him. I would rather
You
invest
said
that
you
money
would
in the
give
O
him
line.
17, 18 at the most.
and like, bro,
Right.
like,
If they
He
are
ain't
going
looked
to
like
pay
he
him.
was worth, and he didn't look
right.
yesterday like
But
he
it
was
wasn't
worth
it wasn't
15,
just Christian.
14.
Irv,
So don't act
Irv,
like
have you,
Yeah.
you ain't in the
Irv, have
same
you not
boat
heard
all
me
the
say that
time.
consistently throughout the offseason? I said, have you not heard me say I would rather not pay him? And then, now that Tua is showing if you support
Yes, you
him
have.
properly, he is playing at the highest level. Well, your investment needs to shift to the offense. This is
But
just the
you
nature of the
said you
National
would
Football
pay him
League in
17 or
23.
18. You said
If I had to, I would rather not pay him though.
So let me
Right.
just
But
respond to that. I would just say this. I get what you and both Lewis are saying. I just think that it's the long game, right? It's not we got to win week 4, we got to win week 5. You're gonna lose some games. I think that Fangio is trying to find what is gonna work for this defense in the long haul. How do I put these combinations together? Not, X is
Win
this
this
game.
game.
Let's
Yeah,
just put X over here, and that's going to disrupt everything that we've been trying to do over the long haul. Now, I would tell you that that's what I would have did, but I also understand how NFL coaches thinking about December and
But
what
you got to make in-game adjustments, Doc.
But Doc,
I agree with you.
Exactly. Excuse me. Hey,
Go ahead.
Doc. Well, you would know based off your so-called alleged experience in the league, right? Because your credentials are definitely still in
I
question.
wouldn't stand for
Just
that,
like
Doc.
your
But
alleged relationships with reasons and all of that.
Oh, damn.
Oh man, they call it.
Really?
Uh-oh, they clout chasing it here tonight.
Really?
Hey,
Oh,
Doc,
okay,
they clout
okay.
chasing it.
Damn, Doc, you
So,
dropping names, Doc? You dropping names?
hang on real quick. Based off your alleged experience in the league, hey,
That's brisket right there.
okay, all right. So, coaches, right? You prepare for every scenario. There are contingencies on top of contingencies on top of contingencies that, coaches based off their install, because you want to be in a situation where you want to prepare for everything, every scenario. And for to your point about him saying, well, I'm not going to let him shadow, the opposing team's best receiver because it's going to disrupt the overall foundation of the scheme, bro. That's irresponsible as a head coach. And if you're Vic Fangio, as accomplished as you are, coaching 30 plus years in this league, bro, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. That is I
would say that you have to think about it this way. It's like some people say, and I'm gonna give you an exaggerated point, but it's like you run and shoot, but then in game you say, you know what, we're gonna run the option because the run and shoot ain't working. It's not.
You have to have,
it's
bro.
You are. That's not what
I
understand.
I understand that.
Then to suggest that, so what you should be saying was whatever adjustment he didn't do a good job of it. But to say that, well, he should have just put X on over here and did that, that's what's irresponsible. There are
But
other adjustments.
but he didn't do nothing. But he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
That point.
But
He didn't do anything, Doc. He didn't do anything.
I agree with that point. Yes.
So here we go. And I think, I mean, when we look at X, first of all, X is not a traveling corner, right? He's never traveled in his career, right?
Yes, he has, bro. What are you talking about? He did that to a great deal under Brian Flores. What are you talking about?
No, he did that last year too. He did travel last year too.
But he
did
travel. First of all, he's not
Yep.
typically in his career. He has not been a traveling corner, and that's why he
under Brian Flores. Yes, he did. CB, you're incorrect.
So here we go. Back to what I was saying. He has not been, majority of the time, he has not been a traveling corner where he has played the best guy on the field and traveled with him everywhere on the field. That's not been what he's done.
CB, to your point, real quick.
No, I'm not done. No, I'm not done.
You don't recall when we played Kansas City into his rookie, in the 2 years ago, into his rookie year?
One game.
No, bro, bro, there's multiple times when he traveled. You remember the Seattle game when he traveled with DK Metcalf? You forget about that?
There's plenty of podcasts and everything out there diminishing X's play because he hasn't been a traveling corner. People don't put him in with the top corners because he hasn't been a traveler. So let's be completely honest with ourselves. And
you're misinforming. You're misinforming right now, CB.
No,
yes, you are, bro.
No, I'm not. He hasn't.
Yes, you are, bro.
No,
hey,
I'm
can
not.
I put that into perspective real quick?
And we could go look it up afterwards, bro. He's not been a traveler. Go ahead, Irv, real quick.
Well, pull
I was just gonna say, hold on, real quick.
Shit, you know he don't travel for us.
All right,
who he been guarding for us?
He hasn't been traveling this year. Yeah, he hadn't. I give you this year. Yeah, this year he hasn't been,
bro. He ain't traveled last year.
He traveled last year. He traveled last year against Buffalo.
Bro,
in 2020. Okay, so when Byron Jones was here in his first 2 years, right? Right. So when Byron Jones was here in his first 2 years, his responsibility was covering the opposing team's number one wide receiver, and he would do most of the traveling while Xavier Howard locked one side, right? In 2022, when Byron Jones went out, he had to do everything that Byron Jones did in 2022. In 2023, he has to do that.
But that's not Irv. But that's not. Well, you're right, and that's not what he does best.
Right.
Oh, now it's not what he does best. Before you said he didn't travel at all. Now it's not what he does best.
First of all, if
you're moving the goalpost, CB.
First of all, when you put Diggs on the field and you ask X to travel with Diggs, you know you put X in a bad situation. He can't go play. He can't cross formations and go play Diggs and run with motions and stuff like that. That's not his game, bro. So I don't even know why we're saying, hey, put X on, because typically he's not a traveler. If Diggs goes to the other side of the field, what X gonna do? He gonna run with him? Hell no, X ain't run with him. X gonna squeeze down in the formation and sit his ass down in that zone where he at, bro. He's not traveling. So for us to say, oh, he should have put X on him, it's a cool story. We'd love to have it, right? We'd love to have X on the best player, but they know X is not a traveler. He's not going to follow Diggs around all game and be able to run with that dude across formations and run with motions and stuff like that. It's just not what he does. So I get what we're saying, but it puts Fangio in a very difficult position when you got a guy like X, who is probably the best corner on the field, doesn't travel, right? But I mean, all you got to do is move Diggs to the other side of the field and you're going to put him on Cater. So you can't
talk. Why didn't he shade?
It's high level football talk, man. This high level.
Well, Fangio didn't. In my opinion, Fangio didn't adjust. In my opinion, Fangio didn't adjust at all. Okay, if you're not comfortable with, having X shade him, right? Travel with him, shadow him, whatever you want to call it. Well, why didn't you, since X, again, they didn't even target him.
You trust Cater to do it because he's been a better cover
Hang
guy.
on, CB. Hang on. Well, why not bring over the top help for Cater Kohu? That way you can allow him to be more aggressive at the line of scrimmage, can press him, right? Delay the timing of the route of the route concept, right? No, they didn't do any of that. I didn't see any of that consistently.
Brandon Jones did not make the play.
I didn't see that with any degree of consistency yesterday, bro. You didn't see that.
And that look, that's my problem. That's part of my problem too, though. And they need to have, when I say like they need to have a safety down on him, like they need to have a safety on him very quickly. Because if you just sit a safety back there, he's still got a lot of time to operate on Cater. Still got plenty of time to operate on Cater to get open, make the play, and then make one miss. So that's my thing too. And I don't think Cater played terrible. Look,
I don't either.
I think he got some bad calls. Right, and I think he didn't get his head around a couple times.
But you know what though, with Kohu, you didn't see him like you saw with Xavier Howard last year. You didn't see Stephon Diggs running by him, just actually lining up and just blowing by him. You saw him in his back pocket. He just got caught. Right, he didn't turn his head around a couple times, and he got caught.
I respect that. I can. And Fangio was thinking I can win with that as long as he's not out there getting clearly beat. And Diggs didn't like really murder him. He just got open and made the plays. He wasn't.
And he does that. He does that against everybody.
Exactly.
When he sees that much one-on-one coverage like he did with Jalen Ramsey a couple last year when they opened up the opening game in LA, right? You forget the spin cycle. He put Jalen Ramsey in that game as well. So he does that with everybody. So everybody now wants to say Kohu is garbage. No, it happens to the best of us. I mean, Patrick Surtain is arguably the best, according to a lot of people's opinion, the best corner in the league. And Robbie Chosen got on top of him, bro, and gave up a 60+ yard touchdown.
It happens.
It happens.
But when you get into that one-on-one with Diggs, and honestly, Diggs was hand fighting with Kohu, just doing a lot of vet stuff and getting away with a lot of it. Like he could have got called for offensive pass interference sometimes, but they just weren't giving us them calls yesterday. It just wasn't happening.
And see, one thing I want to see Fangio, little subtle adjustments I want to see him make on the back end. Why is he conceding so much? Why is he playing so much off coverage, bro?
Yeah.
You gotta, bro. If you go play, why aren't you lining up? Obviously, X is better when he's got his hands on receivers. Kohu is better when he has his hands on receivers at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, if you still want to play zone on the back end, press them at the line of scrimmage, then you drop back as opposed to conceding 10 yards to the receivers, bro.
I'd like to see some bump and run coverage, to be honest.
Why is he not doing? I'm like, bro, why is he giving that much?
And my thing is like you ain't got to do it to everybody. But you can do it to a guy like Diggs.
I like bump and run.
Right, bump and run Diggs and play off on everybody else. Yeah. Like you got to mix it up and give him different looks.
You didn't see that. If
he's just going to sit back there and take it all game, he gonna give it to you. And that's what he did. And that's what I didn't like about Fangio's game plan. It's just like he sat back and took it instead of being aggressive, instead of playing up. Hey, have Cater play up on him and bring him some help behind. Bring Brandon Jones. Bring Brandon Jones down right away.
And if you play, and if it was me, if I'm calling the game, right, I don't care who it is.
Calling the game.
Right. If I'm calling the game, I'm having Xavier Howard and Kohu. And again, he loves a too high shell, right? That's his forte.
Yes.
So you're already giving help to him. Why not allow them to get up on the line of scrimmage and absolutely be extremely physical with these wide receivers? Because the threat of beating you deep is not in play because you have that too high shell in play.
Especially when Cater will never ever look for the ball.
Right, like he's not. No,
don't say that. No, don't say. I think he just got. I just think he got caught. He got caught. He got caught with those. He got beat. He got caught with those penalties.
Versus a guy like Diggs, he ain't looking for the ball. He don't got time for it.
Well,
I mean,
I get what you're saying. Let me ask you this one last question. I'm gonna get up out of here, but just from your perspective, EM, and then after EM answers, I guess everybody can answer if you guys want. But should Vic Fangio, and again, we all know his system. We know what he likes to run. But assuming to Doc's point, to CB's point, this is what it is as of right now. Jerome Baker's going to be our linebacker. Chubb's going to be our pass
He won't be
rusher.
there long.
Okay, that's fine. But for the sake of argument, EM, do you think that Vic Fangio should implement a little bit more of the Brian Flores, Josh Boyer kind of scheme a little bit? Do you
He
think
needs
they
to
should
find
implement that a little bit more?
He needs to find a common ground between the two concepts. Right? He needs to figure out he needs to figure out, okay, what can I copy and paste from what they did under the previous coach, implement it, but yet still figure out a way to kind of integrate my concepts over the course of a season. That way, okay, I'm putting them in a situation that they had their most success in, right? And this is on the D line, the second level, as well as the secondary. How can I figure out a way to do that? Great coaches do that, Doc. I understand. Great coaches do that.
I agree with that to some point where, but I think, and I guess that's what I'm saying when I say that you have seen him keep trying different combinations in every game. He's did, different combinations of trying to put people in different positions to see what works, and that's what you're gonna get in as he moves forward. And hopefully, that's why I say week 7 or 8. Hopefully, by then we've settled into, hey, this is our best front 8, and this is going to give us the best chance to win. So you can really start trying to say, okay, now that I got this, now what are we going to do with it? Because right now he's, like my coach in one game, like coach said, ain't none of this shit working.
Right.
Yeah.
And Doc, I agree with you. It's going to take some time, but I feel like Vic Fangio found ways later in games, especially in the game like the Chargers game, right? He found a way late in the game to send the blitz to get home, right?
But he needs to not wait for so long, CB. He needs to be more consistent.
And I'd like for him to be more consistent too, but I think he's got to find a way to mix it in throughout the game. You can't
I think the other thing too is, to me, it just looked like they just beat our ass yesterday. I mean,
That's
you
true
know,
too.
you just
Yeah,
can't,
Doc. I think we were losing regardless yesterday. I do. Buffalo was just on something totally different yesterday.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
they was on
we
some
made
vengeance,
some plays, and we made it respectful early, but man, that defense was their defense just had answers, man. And to your point, and I will say this is that I didn't see Vic Fangio make great in-game adjustments, and I didn't see Mike McDaniels make great in-game adjustments. I just didn't see that from any side. And, but I also think that I didn't see players. Like when I see Tyreek getting jammed at the line, that's unacceptable for Tyreek to begin. That's unacceptable for Waddle to be getting jammed. You ain't got no, I don't want to. Old school, when I play, that shit just ain't gonna fly getting jammed at the line. Your ass gonna be on the bench with that. So I apologize for cursing, CB.
No, you good.
But that was an issue last year, Doc. And to this point, to this point, the 4th game of the season, he's got to figure out a way to get these guys free releases more, because it's like when we face the better defenses, and they opt to really get up in the chest of Tyreek and Waddle. There has to be a counter for that. Now, a lot of that a lot of what the run game will solve a lot of those issues, right? But see, this is where I'm not ready to really, really, really go, really get on Mike McDaniel, because the O-line was, Tua was under duress the whole game. Eichenberg was a disaster, right? Robert Hunt had his worst game. Actually, Robert Hunt was our second lowest graded player yesterday.
I
right?
can't wait to watch the film.
You had a lot of
Watch it.
inconsistency up front, and you know that well as anybody, Doc, playing in the league, right? Well,
Yeah.
you say you played in the league, but
Hey
you
man,
know,
ever since you got your little Jimmy Butler hairdo, you've been tripping, bro.
hey.
Ever since
So,
you got your hair done like Jimmy Butler, you've been tripping.
Hey, come on, EM, you gotta be
Oh,
better,
hey,
bro.
so
damn.
Doc, you know, playing the league, bro, when you got that level of instability up front, it compromises everything foundationally.
Man, it
So
always go back to the offensive line.
it does, bro. I mean, bro. Again, I think we were losing yesterday, regardless, because I'm agreement. Buffalo was on something totally different yesterday, but I
They was
do
on
think
get
the
back.
addition of Connor Williams specifically,
Yes.
right, would have stabilized things in particular on that
Did
interior.
help his case? Did yesterday help his case?
Ooh, to get paid. Oh yeah, they gonna have to pay up. You gonna have to pony that
And they
up.
should now. And I was always of like, well, Connor Williams wasn't at the top of my priority list in terms of players we need. But no, you can make an argument now that you see the emergence of Kendall Lamb, how well he's played, right, to kind of close that gap between level of play between him and Armstead. You can make an argument Connor Williams is our most important O-lineman right now.
Man, what about
Easily, bro. Easily.
Damn. But
So it is what it is.
He got hurt on.
He got bent back on a play, and
that was Eichenberg. That was Eichenberg getting pushed back behind him, and he got pushed into his knee, and it was a result of Eichenberg.
He owed that man some neck, man.
Eichenberg needs to go to the bench.
We need Connor Williams back.
Mike McDaniel say he's gonna play, definitely gonna play this year. Like that was.
I mean, what? Listen, that undrafted rookie we got, that center we got sitting on a practice squad. Why not elevate him? Can he be any worse than what we've seen from Liam Eichenberg? I mean, really? Can he be any worse?
That's a good question.
Is that possible?
Hey, I think Mike McDaniel is trying to figure that out.
Did the undrafted guy play center in college?
Yeah, he was a center for 4 years at Utah, I believe. I think he came out of Utah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
At least snapping ain't gonna be an issue.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I was gonna say the same thing. At least he know how to snap the football.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Hey, well, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Let's do final takes real quick. I'm gonna start with Irv, man. I appreciate you coming through, bro. I mean, we're at this crossroad. I'm not even a crossroad. We're at a point now where we just need to kind of figure it out. And I'm glad we kind of got smacked in the mouth early on in the season. Now we can kind of figure it out, make the adjustments, and figure out how we move forward as a team. But we need to kind of get an identity defensively. I just don't see it right now. And that's something we need to work on. But Irv, go ahead, give me your final take, bro. We're gonna close this thing out. Come on, Irv, you on mute. Tighten up, boy.
Irv done fell asleep.
No, I'm good. I'm here. Nah, man, just I like to see more consistency from the defensive line, bro. We gotta get some interior pressure and cause that pocket to collapse a lot quicker. And you gotta be better in coverage on the back end, especially our linebackers. But I think this defense was missing Sean Elliott's presence.
Yes.
Like I said, he's very smart. He's very good at making sure guys know their assignments, knows where the ball is. He understands the coverage schemes and things of that nature. Like I said, I just hope this defense needs to play better, and Vic Fangio needs to get out of his own way and get better at making in-game adjustments. And I think we gotta hopeful, we gotta hope that this offensive line can stay healthy, and we can get Connor Williams back, because in my opinion, I think our resources should go to extending guys like Robert Hunt and Connor Williams than Christian Wilkins, just because this offensive line is so key to the success of this offense and the run game. So that's all I got to say.
Good points, man. I appreciate you coming through, bro. It's always love.
Yeah. Let me go real quick, CB. I got like 12% before I got to charge my phone up. Hey, man. Doc, salute to you. Hey, Doc, salute, always respect to you, bro. CB, just because I came up here tonight, bro, there's no peace between us. I'm gonna still slap you when I see you. So with that,
You ain't slapping shit.
yeah, okay, but yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah. I'll hit you on that.
So at the end of the day, man, I want to be clear though. I think it's not time to hit the panic button with this defense with Vic Fangio. It's not. I want to be clear on that, right? It's just I think a 4-game sample size is enough to really. I think that's the 4-game sample size. You can start to see trends start to really develop and be consistent, right? Good
I
or bad.
agree.
And I just think me personally now, I'm just at that point. That's why I waited to speak about this publicly, because I was waiting on that 4-game mark. And there are some things that are coming up on tape. CB Doc, y'all would know this, that a lot of deficiencies that are surfacing, right? And we can sit here and argue as to why, but the issue is these issues are surfacing. And again, we kind of swept those issues under the rug in the first 3 games because we won those games. But what happens when you face a more complete teams that can match our talent level, right? And all of a sudden, these issues that we kind of overlooked because we were winning become glaring issues. And see, I'm trying to prevent that. That's why I'm not trying to wait until the eighth game mark. I would rather rather see adjustments from Fangio at this, like yesterday, because keep in mind the status where we are as a team. This is a Super Bowl team. This is a Super Bowl roster. I think we can all agree with that. We feel like talent-wise, we have enough to compete and win at the highest level. That is where we are. That's the reality. So I'm confident Fangio will get this, figured out. Whatever changes he makes, I think he will make them. I think his status in the league, the cachet he's built, the success he's had in the league gives him, we should all extend him that grace period. But at the end of the day, I think it's responsible for all of us to really just highlight the issues that we're seeing right now. They will get corrected. We're still 3-1 at the end of the day. And I think these next 2 games, the Giants and the Carolina Panthers, are extreme get-right games for us, right? Kind of like the Broncos game. So defensively, they should use these next 2 games to really iron out and try to, figure out what works best for the personnel that he has right now. I think that'll be done, and we'll be better, as we move along in the season as a direct result of that. So at the end of the day, man, appreciate, you having me up, CB. There is no peace. I'm still slapping the hell out you when I see you. Doc, always respect everybody in the chat. Hey, man, salute to everybody pulling up and supporting this guy, CB83. It's my first time meeting him, so he seems like a halfway decent guy, man. So y'all continue to show up and show this man respect, because I'm never going to knock another man's hustle. So salute to y'all, man. Until next time. Doc, I'll get at you, man.
Don't leave, EM, because I want to make a point about something you said. So don't leave.
Go ahead.
Ooh, he about to kill you. Don't kill him. Don't kill him, Doc.
Well, first of all, he good, like EM, he's really good at calling out stuff. I mean, he's really good at that. He reminds me of Pearl, the lady on the block who looks out her window and know who's going in.
Oh Lord.
He knows who's going in who house.
Really, Doc? Really?
You see, he know the person who got their water turned off because the water people come and turn off the water.
Hey, I don't miss nothing. I don't miss nothing. Nothing gets by me.
Throwing rocks from a glass house. That's what he's doing. Throwing rocks from a glass house.
But I think 2 things, and this was a great conversation. And I will say this: I really like these type of conversations. We could just talk ball without all the BS. And so I appreciate your platform, bro, to be able to do that. But I think a couple of things. One is when you are a top heavy team like we are, you gotta be healthy, man. And when we lose Armstead, when we lose Elliott, when we lose Connor Williams, when we lose Craig Craft, when we lose Barry Yost, when we lose Craig Craft, and these guys are
Ezukama,
Ezukama, it's gonna hurt us. We have to stay healthy to really be successful. And then 2, I think what Ian said is right, that the 4-game sample size is big enough to address the issue, to see some issues. Our running defense is clearly an issue that we got to get fixed. but I don't think 4 games is a big enough sample size during the season to give a coach in a new system with new players to get it right. So
Yeah.
we can see the things from the 4-game sample size. And I'm saying he gets 8 games to try to fix all of that, because you don't know what you don't know until you get into real games and start seeing real stuff start happening. So my hope is that he fixed that. And then offensively, I'm hoping, I want to see, I saw in the first 3 games a lot of maturity out of Mike McDaniels in terms of how he's called games. And now, based on what Buffalo did to us, when we saw this in week 9, 10, 11 last year, teams started doing these things to shut us down.
Yeah.
We should not be shut down again when a team shows us this same defense and says, we're going to play you close. He got to have an answer for that. He got to have an answer for it.
And you know, real quick though, CB, my
Go ahead.
frustration is Mike McDaniel with him at times, going back to last year, in terms of the consistency with the run game, right?
Not being
It's
balanced.
not
right?
like teams, it's not like we're facing loaded boxes, right? On a week to week. We were number 1 in the league in terms of facing that too high shell. Like teams are basically lining up and saying, we dare you to run the football and stay committed to it. And this is, and if you go back to Kyle Shanahan, right? What is his biggest criticisms, right? Go back to the when he was coordinator in Atlanta. All
They
he
run the
had to
ball.
do, all he had to do was run the ball and sought the clock away, and they win that Super Bowl against the Patriots, right? He
Yeah.
got away from the running game in the second half for whatever reason. Go back to the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl when they played Kansas City, right? They were running the ball, they were absolutely gashing Kansas City. What happened in the second half? Got away from the run game, and you heard Tyrann Matthews, when they interviewed him after they won, he said, "Bro, we was thanking our lucky stars that he stopped running the football because we could not stop him." So I think that those bad habits have carried over with Mike McDaniel, unfortunately, because I think given last year and then now this year, you know, particularly Sunday, and again, I'm not killing him. I'm willing to give him somewhat of a pass because of we were compromised, but that trend needs to be Mike McDaniel. He needs to develop out of that. He needs to mature as a play caller because those bad habits seem to have carried over from Kyle Shanahan. And for us to get to our desired destination, you know, this, you know, imbalance being, you know, you cannot be that, be that imbalanced and expect to win at the highest level.
And to be, I just want to touch on it real quick. To be completely honest with you, I think that's what scares me most about Mike McDaniel. And honestly, I don't think it's just Mike McDaniel. It's kind of like the new age play caller, right? The new age play caller really thinks they need to be throwing the ball in order to show that they're successful. And that's something that really bothers me.
I would agree. I would agree 100%, CB.
Bro, and honestly, I've seen it at the high school level. I've seen it at the college level. It's like, when guys run the ball and they're successful, they feel like they don't feel like they're successful. And that's
because it comes down to the offensive line and moving somebody and not on their ingenuity and their
no, but isn't that such a very small way of thinking when you look at it? Like if you really step back and look at it from the macro perspective, and have a wide lens and look at it from the bigger picture, bro, you're looking to win the football game. It don't matter how you win it, whether it's running the football.
I agree.
Throwing the football.
It's like these new age coaches. They want to be the first story on ESPN, them Sports Center highlights. You know what I mean,
me, bro? And
like EM, he's always saying, "Hey, EM in the chat, they say your new name is Pearl."
Yeah, I see.
But man, hey, that shit really does bother me, man. And
you's a hoe for that, Doc. Yeah,
he killing you, bro. He killing you, Miss Pearly.
Hey, I don't miss nothing. I don't miss nothing gets by me, dog.
But Mike McDaniel has to be better. I've coached with guys who were like, yo, I just don't feel like I'm that dude when I'm running the football. Like they really want to feel like it's in their hands. And that's a problem. Like we got to get out of that. Hopefully Mike McDaniel isn't on that trip where he's trying to get to all the passes. Bro, be balanced. That's how you'll win games, man. I'm telling you. We ran the
Do you
ball a
think
lot.
That's how you win at the highest level. That's how
That's
you win Super Bowls, and that should be
clearly.
everybody's objective.
So do you think that Mike McDaniel's getting away from the run game is arrogance or immaturity?
I think it's a combination of both, and I'm gonna add one in there. Your running backs at times just you not feeling confident in your running backs.
Okay.
Because Mostert fumbling the ball and coughing up the ball on Sunday did not give him any more inclination to run the football.
There is no excuse for him not giving
I mean, he got carries. He got carries after Mostert after Mostert went down and after he fumbled the ball. It's just like, bro, he doesn't want to put all of that on Achane's plate yet. I mean, he's still a rookie. He's still transitioning.
Real quick, CB. I'm gonna have to get on you now.
We're gonna go, bro. We're gonna go for another
Because nothing gets by me. Real quick, let me address something now.
We're gonna go for another hour, bro.
Now
Chill,
you agree.
bro.
Now, last year when I came out, right, I was the first one in the community when I put this issue up. Hang on. Well, maybe not the first. Very few were saying this. Let me change that. Very few were highlighting this issue, right? And I gave my theory as to why we were seeing the inconsistencies. It was both immaturity. In a nutshell, that's my point, was immaturity and arrogance. You defied,
I didn't. First of all, I didn't defy that. I said, hey, it's a combination of everything. You not having faith in this running back room.
Last year you didn't say that though, CB. You were disagreeing with me, bro.
CB, this just
you were disagreeing with me now.
This just shocked me, and I gotta say, it pains me, dog, to say this, but I just checked the stats. A-Chain literally only had 8 carries.
8 carries. That's it, bro.
That
and three jet sweeps, bro. 3 of them was jet sweeps, bro.
2 were inside the 2-yard line to score.
Exactly.
Is it time? Let me pose this question real quick, CB. I know you're trying to wrap things up. Doc, CB, is it time to have that conversation about him being running back number 1?
Oh, he is. Moving forward, he's running back 1. Now,
I don't think so.
The thing is, though, can he do stuff that you need a running back 1 to do? Can he pass block? Can he do the stuff that you're putting on Mostert's plate? Like that's where you kind of look at it and you're like, damn, I want him to be RB1, but I don't know if he has the ability to do everything.
I know Mike McDaniel.
He like pretty girls. He don't care.
I know, bro. He don't care nothing about. He don't know about the substance.
He don't care about how the breath smell, man.
Well, Mike McDaniel did say this. He did say this in his presser. He did say the game is not too big for him, and I think in a nutshell, he was covering all of those issues that you just highlighted, CB. I think again, he didn't say that verbatim, but I think that his point was. I think that's the point that he was trying to make.
And I get that, and I like A-Chain. I think he's been fantastic for us so far. I just think when the rubber meets the road, at some point in the season, he's going to get hit. He's going to take some hits. He may end up fumbling the ball, and it's like, what do we do then? Does he still get the carries? Does he still figure out a way?
Bro, every player is gonna have bad games, CB.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna pull him based off one? Look. Even Mostert on Sunday fumbled twice, right?
But that's kind of inexcusable from a guy like Mostert. You got to be better.
I would agree,
like,
but
you can't.
But I'm not going. But I'm not
the ball on the ground.
I agree. I agree 100%.
CB, who is H in the chat?
I don't know who he is, man.
He is killing EM.
Hey, don't get him started. Don't have EM looking at the chat. That's the last thing we want right now.
That boy say Pearl.
I'm shutting it down.
Man, hey, bro, it's another hater out there that wish they could be me.
They're everywhere.
They everywhere.
EM got a ton of minions too, bro. He got a ton of minions.
Oh yeah, I got that. I got a squad now. We all know that I got a squad, right? The real ones. I always reference them as the real ones in the community, right?
The mean girl.
You say, get them, Pearl.
Yeah, you know, you's a hoe for that, Doc.
Hey.
But yeah, I got
But
1%, fellas. I'm gonna get up out of here, bro, man.
Hey,
Salute.
appreciate you coming through.
Salute to
Ian.
both of y'all, man.
Hey.
Until next time, fellas.
Hey,
For
good
sure.
talks. Good talks.
ACB, you rock, man. You the
Hey,
guy. You
hey,
the
hell
dude.
of a conversation, Doc. We got to do this more often, at least once a week, where we just get up here and talk some real football, man. We don't
man.
got enough of this in the community. We don't got enough of this dialogue, this type of conversation in the community, for real.
Facts. Hey, man, whenever you on, I'm on, dog.
All right, appreciate you coming through, bro.
Yeah.
Later. Hey, shout out to all the homies who came through. Just a fantastic show tonight, man. If you really want to help your boy, punch the like button and send this link to somebody that you know who you rock with in the Dolphins community, or somebody who just likes, good dialogue, good Miami Dolphins dialogue, man. Good NFL dialogue, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. I thought this was a fantastic show. I appreciate the donation from Fins Up Wednesday earlier in the show, the $10 donation. That's big time. Really appreciate all the support, man, from everybody, man. Appreciate everybody staying in here, hanging with me. Hey, 3 hours strong tonight. 3 hours strong tonight. Good show, good talk. Like my man ABAB says. Salute to the homie Q who was up on the panel. Always great conversation. And this is what we need more of in the community, honestly. Like more of people just having dialogue about the Miami Dolphins, less of the bickering, less of the, oh, I told you so, I told you this, I told you that. We need more of, hey, how are we going to fix this? How do we move forward as an organization? How do we get better as a team? And guys, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch the film tomorrow. We're going to break it down. We're going to see what we did well, what we did poorly, and just kind of adjust, man. Adjust, get ready for the next game. We got the Giants coming up who got smashed tonight. We should put a smashing on them boys too. So, hey, appreciate everybody coming out. Appreciate the love and support. Hey, hit the like on your way out. Like I said, do me a favor, send this link to somebody, tell them to subscribe. It helps a ton. Helps a ton. We're almost to 1,100 subscribers. My 1,000 subscriber giveaway, people, please hit me with your addies. Raster, Hooked Up Joe, Raphael hit me already, so we good to go. But hit me with that. Appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all already know what time it is. No yelling, no nonsense, just great dialogue. That's what we need, man. Fins up. It's CB83, and your boy is out. See ya.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I sold them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game.